Things I showed you, I can't show you. Ooh, after the daylight, it started in the hotel. Some ice cold drinks in this dark room. We went from a high school friendship to some post-scout actions. Saw some sweat fall off your face into the dance floor, babe. Dance on, babe. Sweat falls off my face inside. Stand up, babe. Stand up. Stand up. It's nights like this we're wide awake. It's times like this you shy away from me, babe. Started in a hotel lobby, cleaned up just to get too sloppy. Things I showed you, I can't show you. After the daylight, it started in the hotel. It started in the hotel.
Hello, boys and girls, fellow Vainglorians, and welcome your beautiful faces back to your weekly Vainglory action in the EU competitive scene. I'm your host, Maxman, once again here for the European Champions Cup, organised by the Mobile Gaming League, and joined once again by my fellow friend and caster, Day Nomine. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing alright, Max. How are you doing today?
Doing absolutely awesome. Super hyped of the matches we've been having on Friday, also yesterday for WSG, and we are ready to close up this week. Like, fully packed of Vainglory action in the competitive EU scene. Ready to close that up with some epic matches today, guys. So, for you, we do have 2 sets of BO3 coming to you guys today. We're going to be going over those real quick right now. So, the first game they're going to be having unfolding in the next upcoming seconds will be Oogie Boogie. Prior to that name, they were called Team Exceed, but they did change their name because Exceed was an org that left Vainglory. So now it's Oogie Boogie. That has basically Leon and all the team with them. And then we also have them playing up against Potato Pedal that had really nice matches throughout the entirety of the European Champions Cup. Then the match will be coming in about an hour and a half. Will be Jade Line in EU up against the side of Fairytale. Definitely one match to look forward to. But right now, we're going to be jumping into this first game ASAP. So let's check out the rosters before we do actually get into the draft of game number 1. For Oogie Boogie, that'll be composed of Leon, Once TT, Eerie 10, Hegeman, Joy Skaggs, Oriel, and Keese. And then for Potato Pedal, it's Bruto, Dijon, Joselu, Lelouch, VIB, Nonso Gnomo, and VG Hoswe. So a lot of highly skilled players, guys. And we're just going to be now checking if the players are ready, and we'll be ready to jump into game number 1, Day Nominate.
Yeah, definitely should be a fun one to look forward to. I'm always excited to watch Leon and Keys and Hegman play. Some of my favorite players from over in the European region, so glad I get to cast some of the actual action myself this time around. And then hopefully, obviously coming up towards the end of the year, Max, hopefully we have some exciting things for Vainglory in 2020.
Well, I know there's a lot of stuff coming up.
Yeah, 19.
We'll have to wait before anything gets announced, but there's definitely a lot of projects coming our way for Vainglory in general. Now, we're just checking out if the players are ready. We'll be ready to jump into this first game. But by the way, so you guys know, this is a community-run event. So if you want to try and support us right now and keep us to allow us to keep bringing to you guys some Vainglory EU competitive action, please type in chat !donate, and you can go on a link that will basically allow you to help this tournament and allow us to also increase the prize pool for our players for whoever wins this tournament. But right now, both teams are ready, and we'll be jumping right into draft of game number 1.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how the drafts end up going for this one, Max. Definitely, we've had a lot of priority focused on a lot of the captain bands. And we see Leon flex a bunch of those picks pretty consistently. We've even seen him play like a semi-carry Churnwalker, so I'm interested to see what they end up bringing out there. We should be getting rid of the start here in just a minute, though, right?
Matchmaking in private games is just how it works. I'll just cancel it and restart. It always does that, like, buttery smooth. No problem with that. Come on, Vainglory. Why are you doing this? Okay, it's all good. But anyways, guys, just so you know, for these matches, we can just while we're waiting for the draft to actually start, it's just taking a little bit of time. Throughout the entirety of this tournament, we had Exceed and Potato Pedal doing like just flawless games overall. They never lost a match so far. So one of these teams is going to be suffering today their very first loss in the European Championship. And I cannot see who's going to be the team taking the upper hand in the entirety of this tournament. And also, extra piece of information: the team that will win today's match will be playing against the second place team of the Group B. So this is Group A that we have right now with these 4 teams that we're going to have them play today. The winner of this match will be playing the second team of Group B. So we'll be checking all that out next weekend to know what team will be the second in place for Group B. Anyways, we are now into the draft. Sorry for the little bit of a delay, but we're going to be finally jumping in draft of game number 1 of this BO3 of Oogie Boogie versus Potato Pedal.
Yeah, so getting in here, Leon, obviously you've talked about his Anka a lot. It's going to be interesting to see if he gets that opportunity. If they don't ban it away, they do have that first pick opportunity to get him on that hero. The Yates has been taken off the board, and again, one of the big counters for Yates is that Finn. So Finn could be picked up by the side of Oogie Boogie here. They'll get that first pick. It's going to be dependent on how the rest of the bands go, though, what we really expect. Finn is a great flex hero for the side of Oogie Boogie. I could definitely see Leon playing it. We've even seen Ariel flex into some of those tanky roles as well. So definitely going to be a fun one. Anka's off the board, though.
Yeah, they will ban away the Anka. Definitely a hero who also don't want to give over to the enemy team, and specifically when Leon is on the team, because he plays Aftershock Clockwork Anchor to its finest potential. So definitely one hero that I think Potato Pedal did do their homework on who they were playing up against today. They're going to be going for the Churnwalker ban too. Praising Leon for his Churnwalker plays. He will not be going for that pickup today, Day 9A. And still, a lot of priority picks still open. We do have Finn. We still do have Lorelei. Anchor was off the board. Also followed up with the Ardent. 3 high priority picks. So I think it would be to the advantage of Potato Pedal to not ban any of those 3, and they could pick up 2 high priority picks and let 1 go over to the side of Oogie Boogie. But that's just a little bit of a suggestion, because maybe they just want to give Finn. Giving over Finn would be a pretty hard thing to do, but they do ban away the Reza, something that's been pretty consistent throughout the entirety of the EU Champions Cup. Reza's been banned again and again and again, and I'm not really surprised because it's a really powerful hero in 3.8.
Yeah, absolutely. He does just absolutely absurd amounts of damage, and then you pair it around with his mobility, both with the Troublemaker and the Netherform Detonator. He can really start to be a massive threat for your backline, because it's difficult to actually block him out, because he just has so many activations that allow him to get to that backline. Lorelei is picked up, but the Arden is answered back, and those are 2 kind of those priority picks you were mentioning. Especially the Arden being able to go full captain, or maybe even flex a little bit of damage with an Aftershock or a Tension Bow. but the Lyra is going to get picked up as well, and that's going to give a lot of support to the mid lane here. So good drafting so far by the side of Potato Petal, and I'm going to have to see how the side of Oogie Boogie answer back.
Yeah, they can flex this Lorelei, then put CP Mage, put it Roam, and if they do pair that up with like Celeste or something, the siege potential could last really long. So I do like what Potato Petal are pulling off so far. But they do go for the Silvernail and Kinetic pickups. Easily two of the best bot lane weapon carries in the entire game so far, And also, on their side, they have Joyskags. Joyskags has been playing the game for about a full season right now in Vainglory. He's very new to the game, but he's easily one of the single best players in the European competitive scene of Vainglory so far. Just built in such a short notice. And his main pick, his one trick, is after Kinetic, is Silvernail. Silvernail is the hero that he fears the enemy team with. Like, I would be scared if I was Potato Petal right now, because you're giving the main pickup to a one trick. There's Joyskags on Silvernail. So, man, I don't know how this is going to work out, but right now, Oogie Boogie are looking really, really powerful.
Yeah, they definitely are. Those are two very potent carries. They have the ability to get out extra basic attack hits every so often, so that definitely can add up when they go down the weapon route. The Grace is going to come through, going to have a little bit more of that defensive capability while also being able to be in the face of the enemy. And it looks like they may be thinking it may lean, which is you know, a different route that we have seen Hagman go down. Obviously, we've seen him play pretty much exclusively Scarf for the tournament so far. But maybe a Celeste now.
Damn it. Yeah, I remember his Scarf there. I think you were actually casting with me, if I'm not mistaken. His Scarf plays were absolutely insane. Just able to burst and roast down every single target on the enemy team. But they will go for the
Scarf
Celeste
was picked up on Potato Petal. I forgot about that.
What?
I said I forgot about that. Potato Petal picked up Scarf already.
Oh yeah, they already did.
I wasn't looking close enough.
But something on sort of Potato Petal I'm not a big fan of is this Alpha pickup. Alpha has a really hard time dealing with a Silvernail. Every ability she has on an A and a B, not ultimate of course, but like are gap closing abilities. So if you're playing the Silvernail, you can just silence and also block any kind of engagement coming out from an Alpha. So Silvernail is a really hard counter to Alpha pickup, but they do go for the last pick of an Idris. And I think Hundor in EU is the one that showed how good Idris of pickup is right now. Can play weapon, can play CP, and the taste of in 3.8 right now is people play hybrid. They go for Dragon's Eye, alternating current with as a Serpent Mask and also weapon infusion, and it unlocks your two path on your Divergence Path passive, so your weapon and CP path allows you to dash way more, to attack from a range, to have a lot more mobility overall. So I think that might be the direction they're going with this Idris, but I think also going fully pledged weapon would be pretty smart, because they have right now 3 squishy backline heroes, Kinetic, Silvernail, and the Celeste. So if they get this fully pledged weapon Idris, dive onto the backline, get maybe a one-shot or two, I think it would make a lot of sense if they commit to a fully pledged weapon Idris here.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that's one thing that Idris is really going to have to get down in this particular matchup is he has to play that very assassin-style role. He needs to get in and either drop Leon, drop Joey Skaggs, or drop Hagman immediately if they want the fight to go their way. Because unfortunately for the Idris, once he's in, you know, you have the slows coming out of Lorelei, the stun coming out of Lorelei, even her team support with the water wall there at the end. You have Ariel who's going to be able to drop the Holy Nova, can, you know, get some stuns down there onto the Alpha and onto the Idris, and that can make it really difficult for them to maintain damage on that backline.
Yeah, definitely they're going to have to pay very close attention to that, as we have a very kind of passive rotations, no invades whatsoever. Both teams don't have the best of early games, not going to lie, Denomine, so I understand why they're not looking for that. But as you did mention, they have the Grace, they have this Lorelei, and really good with that is they can like just completely save the lives of 2 of their backline carries with the Water Wall and with the Divine Intervention. So I do really like how they're going to be playing around that. But right now we're going to have a solo man invade from Oriel, 1-man army. But can he pull it off though? He does get the Benediction shot, but unfortunately Shakram coming back to Nusog Nomo will be able to secure that weapon buff. So unfortunately a little bit of a waste of resources. But anyways, that's going to be a nice rotation coming out roughed about from the side of Potato Petal.
Yeah, good attempt there from Oriel, but Potato Petal, they were able to secure at least most of what they had. Down in the bottom lane is kind of where I'm going to be looking for some of the intense matchup here. Silvernail takes a bit of time to really scale up and start doing a large amount of damage, versus Arden, he's pretty tanky in the lane and can actually abuse a slow scaling laner such as the Silvernail. So I'm interested to see how they end up doing that. It looks like Leon might actually be playing jungle kinetic, so that's a little bit interesting to me.
Not very surprising in my opinion, because Leon basically being one of the players, he can play anything where he wants and he can make it work basically. But he did at some point, I think it was like patch 3.6, 3.5, 3.6. He would play on stream almost every single time. It was basically almost one trick. He would one trick jungle Ringo. So even though it's not the same playstyle as Ringo, it is a weapon carry, range weapon carry in the jungle position. So he has a lot of experience with that particular kind of playstyle, not that pickup in, like specifically, but that playstyle. So I know Leon can make it work out. It's just going to be maybe a little bit harder on in the the early game phase, because you do get a little bit less gold than your usual typical carry in the bot lane or in the lane in general. So he's going to be just having to be a little bit more cautious in the early game, but still, it's definitely one pick that I feel that Leon can feel pretty confident on.
Yeah, that definitely makes quite a bit of sense. You know, especially having that flexibility to jump from lane to lane, I think it gives Kinetic a lot of potential to actually come through and help the Silvernail pressure off the Arden, or maybe even try to get a sneak pick onto the Scarf in the mid lane so that they can get Hegman further ahead where he can start to be comfortable.
Right now, Leon seems like he's going to be going with a Celeste, with Hegman onto this weapon tune. They're going to be able to take it down fairly fast though, so no counter rotation there coming out to try and stop them from doing so. But we do have VG Josue followed up with his team of Bruto and also Lelouch VIB on the Alpha, going for their own jungle invade. He's taking that Spitfire goop to the face. Unfortunately, able to do much there, but that's going to be a successful jungle invade coming up on both sides. Oogie for the enemy weapon buff, and the same for the side of Potato Pedal. So no loss so far, just a little bit of a gold lead. Very, very small one, just climbing up slowly to the side of Potato Pedal. But right now, Leon taking a lot of damage. So is Bruto. One basic stack going to follow him right to the edge of the earth. Core Collapse going to be missing out from Eggman, unfortunately. But they had definitely the upper hand in terms of damage right there. Lelouch, though, is still going for the invade. He did have Joselu rotate around. But now it will be the flank. Farmer Leon and Eggman, they're looking to go behind. But the re-engage from Lelouch VIB was the Alpha on the Prime Directive round. Joyskax, and he's going to be the first casualty of this game, giving over the first blood to Potato Pedal. Leon is going to die, but can he get a kill before dying? Maybe not. He gets the kill, but if he survives, that'll be absolutely a huge trade-off for their team. But he will drop down at the end of the day. That's going to be a 2-for-1 trade going over to Potato Pedal.
Yeah, 2-for-1 trade going over, and now getting in some lane pressure off the back of it. And that is really what we need to see teams do if we want them to excel in these 5v5 matchups. You can't just win getting the kills. We've seen it a couple times in this tournament so far. You have to capitalize every time you pick one of those kills up. And Potato Pedal, they did a good job there. They forced their lane up when they got the kills down there in the bottom lane. They knew they had time. Now we have a rotation for Idris coming through the jungle to help try to get him on, or he's not going to go through the jungle. He's going to recall. Ariel's coming. Oh, good play there. Ariel almost able to stop the recall.
They're going to try and do that indeed. Nice engagement onto VG Josue right there. Unfortunately, not going to be able to get a killing blow, but just poking him down, doing a little bit of shit damage. But right now, you were talking about the first rotation now, and that rotation allowed Potato Pedal to take a 2,000 goal lead. And we did have the kill of Arden. I didn't see that on the map, sorry guys, but we did have a kill of Arden onto the bot lane. So the Storm ripping on through onto Bruda and VG Josue. Not going to be a kill, unfortunately, but there with a slither of HP. So VG Josue and Bruto got to be a little bit more cautious for the next few seconds at least. So they're just going to be staying under turret, not looking for any skirmishes whatsoever. But you know what? Someone is going to be looking for a skirmish. That's Lelouch VIB. Jumps on through with the core collapse and the core... with core collapse, sorry. I was going to say core charge and the prime directive. Just doing a little bit of damage onto Hegman. Not too much, though. But still, now they have the rotation you were talking about. And they're going to be trying that again, Denominate.
Yeah, Alpha's in a rough spot here.
Oh.
As Oogie Boogie are coming in.
That's why Silvernail counters the Alpha. You can't do anything. He's going to get silenced up. Going to be popping down his Oh, wait, is regen. Lelouch, he's diving on through, round to Keys. Keys does use the flask, will be able to regen. It's followed up with a gauntlet, but Joselu just a little bit too lonely, but still, one-man army. Joselu picking up one, trying to pick up two. Will he be able to do so? I do not think so, but unfortunately, Bruno teleports Joselu right back. A little bit of miscommunication, but still, nice engage overall. Joselu on his own doesn't give a damn.
Yeah, they're still able to pick up a kill there. 2 kills, in fact, Arden was able to get the one. Unfortunately, a little bit of a misplay there, as you mentioned. Bruto did teleport and kind of sent Joselu on the backside of the fight, where wasn't really able to do much then. They weren't able to clean up an extra 2 kills that looked like were getting ready to go their way. But again, you know, they're sitting up about 5,000 gold right now, coming up on 5,000 gold. And this isn't a deficit that we've seen the side of Oogie Boogie have to play against. So this is going to be a pretty big testament here, in fact, of seeing, you know, this is their first time playing on the back foot. Can they make it through? Can they pull through with the Celeste in the later portion of the game? Or is that Scarf really the secret to success?
I think the Scarf is definitely going to be a big playmaker. As we do have a 3-man flank onto this bot lane. We're going to be seeing Joslu get his way out of that one, but unfortunately that will not be the case of Keys as he does go down. And but we did also have Lelouch then in the bot lane that did drop to the hands of Leon, Hegeman, and Joyskags. So now they're going to go for their own jungle. They weren't able to secure it a little bit earlier, unfortunately, but now they will have the upper hand on that as the Gold Oak is up. So definitely going to try to claim back this game a little bit, as you were talking about. They have to try and do something at this point, or otherwise it's going to be a little bit too hard. So the Storm ripping on through. Going to be just hitting the minions, though, allowing the CSing phase just to make it a little bit easier. But still, now they're trying to claim back the jungle, trying to reduce that Goldie land. That is definitely something that Oogie Boogie must do right now, or otherwise it's just going to be allowing a huge lead going over the way of Potato Pedal.
Yeah, it looks to be the case. Scarf hanging around there for a second, realizing he doesn't want to jump into a fight right now with his team so spread out. We do really have to look at the vision control, though.
Joslu doesn't get it.
Come with that tussle. Nope. We really got to start looking at this stage of the game to get some vision control down. As we do got to kill there in the mid lane. Scarf does get dropped as the 4-man rotation comes through. But as we see, this is where we see Oogie starting to clear out some of these scout cams. But in the top half of the jungle, even very close to the lane, we do have a couple really good scout cams down by the opposition Potato Pedal. And that's going to, hopefully the next time there's a rotation that Oogie makes, they'll be able to get the spot out there, as that's a pretty common pathway for players to enter the lane from the top half of the jungle. Arden getting some damage down here on this bottom turret. He might be able to take it. Silvernail can't really contest it right now.
I'm looking at the top lane right now. We did have a nice 1v2, but unfortunately not going to be able to find anyone. So that's going to be a nice... Oh, the rebuke from Joyskags! Nicely done. Going to be able to create some room between himself and Joslu. Joslu not going to be able to find that Blood for Blood. He is level 8. Huge power spike on Arden, just increasing that rage on that Blood for Blood. But unfortunately, that will not be enough, as the rebuke just going to be nicely put down.
Yeah, it was maybe a little closer than he would have liked, but you know, making it out alive is always good. We do have the Ghost Wing picked up by the side of Potato Pedal. They now have that buff, but Bruto, he's poking his head out a little bit here, maybe looking for a fight.
Holy Nova again, a 2-man stun onto the Lyra. Solarstone followed up. The Crucible will be able to save his life, but I'm not sure if I could say that about Lelouch VIP, as he's getting focused down. Uses the flask. He doesn't have his ultimate available. Will be using it. Trying to teleport his way out of that one, but Holy Nova will be able to seal down his fate. And that will be the first kill in that fight, going over to the side of Oogie Boogie. Now they are looking for more. The Ghost Ring was secured by Potato Pedal, so now they're just going to try and shut down the enemy team as much as they can, as they want to try and deny that buff away by killing down the enemy team. But unfortunately, going to be a little bit slow in that mid lane. They're going to be getting their CP buff taken away pretty fast. So that was very unfortunate for them. They also didn't have vision on that objective at that time. So really now Potato Pedal are starting to slowly step things up, it seems like.
Yeah, it definitely looks to be the case. Oogie, they're doing a good job staying in kind of the stream of things with the fact that they're maintaining their focus in the fights. But the gold lead's still in favor of the side of Potato Pedal right now. Getting this Scarf fed up is going to make it very, very difficult, because we don't have anybody that is super tanky on the side of Oogie Boogie. You know, with the exception of maybe Ariel, who I expect to be seeing going into a little bit of damage here soon. At least I would like. The other is going to be Keys, but as a ranged support, it makes it a little bit difficult for him to be really in the brunt force of some of the directional attacks, like the Spitfire.
Solar Storm coming on through on the side, doing a lot of damage. Leon is going to be the main focus from the side of Potato Pedal, and that's going to be working wonders for them, as they do take 2 members down. Keys now is going to be the last member remaining in this top portion of the map, as they do lose finally their second top lane turret. Not going to be able to do anything against that. The focus coming out from Potato Pedal is really nice. A lot of synergy, and I think their communication is really on point. Leon is split, just focusing down to death, and that's what they did, and they're pulling it off really well, as they will try and claim down this mid lane, try to get a lot more rooms for the next upcoming team fights.
Yeah, it looks to be the case. Idris is getting to a comfortable part of the game here. As you mentioned, he is going down that kind of hybrid path between the crystal and the weapon. He's got the Dragon's Eye complete, got the alternating current complete. That's a huge spike for the crystal path there, and it does look like he's starting to work into that weapon divergent path as well, which, as you mentioned, will give him that shadow step. And you know, it's just a quick way for him to get in or out of the fight. As well, if timed properly, he can get that barrier as well coming out of it.
Oh, Bruto.
So
Get a
we'll
steal.
have to see.
Oh no, that was so close. That would have been really nice coming up on Bruto. Unfortunately, not going to be able to secure and steal away that CP buff. But yeah, like definitely going for the hybrid here would make a lot of sense, and like that's what he's doing indeed. And something you've got to do is not Serpent Mask is not enough. You have to also go with a weapon infusion to get enough weapon to unlock the path. Right now, going to try and go for the steal. He's not able to secure it with that fish fruit. Nice try though. A lot of failed secures at this point. And I have the team rotating slowly. I think they're going to try and go for mid lane push potentially, but we do have another split push coming out from Idris, played by Nosong Nomo, and he's doing a really good job in that top lane, holding it on his own. But though Blacklaw is spawned and going to be the next focus from Potato Pedal.
Yeah, it looks to be the case, and it doesn't look like there's much that the side of Oogie Boogie can do about it. Yeah. Nothing at all. Solar Storm wasn't even up for the Miracle Snipe, so that's going to be an opportunity now for Potato Pedal to start pushing, even though they've already been doing so, obviously, in the top lane. Now, with where they're at, Scarf working into his third item, we've got Arden with a Sorrow Blade and a Tension Bow. Uh-oh.
Oh, Liam was picking a fight. He didn't really want to take down on himself, so he's going to be backing off of that Arden 1-1 situation. Now they have to try and change their focus over to this. Blackwell's going pretty low. Nice, going to be able to get a nice amount of CC down onto VG Horseway, but with the flask, he will be able to slip his way out of that one. The wall is out, but now Leon, he's stacking up on the breaking point. 15 stacks already. Is he unstoppable? Yes, he is. 4v3 situation, picking up 3 kills for Oogie Boogie. But though, once again, we do have still this split push ongoing from Nosong Nomo, able to focus down and secure that top lane turret. So that means now the base is open. Backdoor is now an opportunity, I would say, for the players of Potato Pedal, if they do feel like it at some point. So the next upcoming team fight, Denominate, might be the last one if they want to focus and try out it down.
Definitely could be the last one as the death timers start to get longer and the path to victory for the side of Potato Pedal getting closer and closer as they were able to get down that midpoint turret as well as the top lane turret as well. As you mentioned, Armory exposed there. And we know once you've got a couple people on that Armory, it doesn't last long. So if the side of Potato Pedal are able to pick a fight in the top jungle and win it, they could potentially just push right through into the Vein Crystal.
Yeah, they've got to try and pay close attention to that. We do have the Alpha now, played by Lelouch VIB. He went for an Atlas Pauldron. So I do really like that. He's going to be one of the only characters with the Arden that's going to be fully pledged, diving onto the backline so he can try to play on Leon. There we do have Leon. He's looking like he wants a fight as a Solar Storm rips on through onto the enemy team of Potato Pedal. They do pick up the Scarf right off the bat in that team fight. Unfortunately, the members of Potato Pedal just drop in like flies, not able to do anything at this point, but no global objectives are available for the Oogie squad, so they will not be able to secure and win anything out of that skirmish. As you have another split push coming out from your boy Nosong Nomo, looking for the armory. He does find it. Can he pick up the 1v1? Unfortunately, no. Leon and the Vein Crystal on top of him will be dashing out just way too much damage. But split push, even though I don't like it that much, it is a really big mechanic, and he's pulling it off really well.
Yeah, he absolutely is. He's exposed the Vein Crystal on the top lane at this point, which does a couple things. One, again, just one step closer to victory if you're able to get through that top lane. However, it also does increase the minion strength. So now that's something that the side of Oogie will have to worry about. They did get themselves the Ghost Wing there, but fight looks like it might entail.
Bruto, you're jumping in on your own. Not really the best of ideas, in my opinion. 3v4, that is not the type of situations you want to try and engage on. So the Storm ripping on through right on top of this Lyra. She'll just be able to brush it off as if it was a nothing. Not too much of a hassle right there. 60 minutes into the game, 12-8 in terms of kill going over to the Oogie Boogie. But in terms of gold, we have a 4,000 to 5,000 gold lead going over to Potato Pedal, so this is still nobody's game, Denominator, and I don't really know who can take the game, but we just need one good team fight going the way of Oogie, and they will be able to turn it around, though Alice Portion going to be missing out. Unfortunately, Leon not going to be slowed down whatsoever. He does get the Divine Intervention and the Water Wall. That's what we were talking about to the draft. It's going to be helping him out a lot, but will it be enough? It will be to turn it around and pick up the Idris. The stun round on VIP doesn't have his ultimate, and look at his stacking material. Leon been absolutely a huge impact on this game. He's going to try and chase down Fiji, Josue, and Joselu, but unfortunately, they will be able to get out of his grasp, as they still haven't picked up that mid lane turret. But I said it, they know one team fight, and they could turn this game on its head, and this is what's happening right now.
Yeah, and that was so close. Leon was barely able to make it out with his lives. However, they were able to pick up the 2 kills there. And off the back of that fight, they were now able to secure themselves a Black Claw of their own, which is going to be pushing down the mid lane, which is still very healthy on the side of Potato Petal.
He got Atlas. Leon, he got Atlas. But still, he's able to pick up the kill on the Lyra. Now he's going to be a little bit out of position. Does get the block. Leon trying to escape that, but the Shakram going to be doing way too much damage for him to deal with, and he will be dropping down to the feet of Noso Unomo. But Blacklaw still going strong. Mid HP, going to be able to find finally the first turret in the mid lane for the players of Oogie Boogie, but that's not going to be enough to get the second. But we did have, once again, you mentioned earlier, the armory giving such a buff to these minions, just going to be able to force back Oriel to take care of it, because unfortunately, as we said earlier, this is a backdoor opportunity for the pedal players if they do decide to commit to it.
Yeah, it absolutely is, and we're getting to a really fun stage of the game for both the Scarf as well as the Celeste. They kind of match each other in damage. They do semi-match each other in the damage potential. It's just a little bit different. Hegman on the Celeste does take a little bit more time to ramp up in the fight. Obviously, he's got to get a couple Heliogenesis down so that he can send them Supernova, get that big AoE damage out. Meanwhile, Scarf needs to just keep raining in the fireballs, using the goop to help himself position and limit what the enemy is able to pull together. But so far, these last couple fights, Hegman has been really untouched. The focus has been onto Leon, and that's allowed Celeste total comfort.
Oh, they're diving on through onto Vijay Josue, not able to find anything. 3-man Holy Nova coming out. That's going to be nicely done from the Grace. Dive on by Lelouch VIP. They will be losing the Lyra. Unfortunately, Joyce is going to be the main focus from the side of Potato Petal. Going to be able to find him in a Queen sweep. So Nomad trying to go for the 1v3 there, a little bit too deep, and he will be peeked up by Leon, that was just stacking up 20 stacks on that breaking point at the maximum capacity of that fight. Now it is a 2v4 push. I do not think Potato Petal are going to be able to stop this right now, Denomine.
No, not at all, as Hegman is very healthy and got a lot of damage coming out of this Celeste. They're able to push through that mid turret like nothing. That's now 2 turrets down in the mid lane. We still have an objective advantage for the side of Potato Petal, as well as they do have still between a 3,000 and a 4,000 gold lead. But the fights, man, have just looked to be in control of the side of Oogie Boogie, and they've really stepped it up now that they have the damage and the potential that they didn't quite have in the early game. When they get the kills, they're capitalizing more heavily, taking objectives, whether it be capturing a Black Claw or pushing down those mid lane turrets. They're just comfortable with where Hegman is at and where Leon is at as well, is doing a great job this game.
Yeah, definitely doing a really nice job around that. Right now, I'm checking out the builds. I'm checking out also the Josuru. He had a pretty decent early game, but we saw, unfortunately, in the last team fights we've been seeing, he was having a hard time actually dashing out the damage he was looking for, and especially closing the gap on the back lines, because the Divine Intervention followed up with the Lorelei Water Wall is just way too much of an ability to deal with, also combo together. So I think that now this is really smart from Josuru. He did go for the Tentribo Sword Blade, but now he's changing his itemization to go for a kind of utility hero. He went for the Atlas Pauldron. He's got his Blood for Blood to close the gap very effectively on top of Leon. So now his focus is to try and render Joyce and Leon, both of them, useless by applying the Atlas, and also get an extra dive with the War Chest. But right now we have an engagement. We do not have the Arden, unfortunately, but still it's a 4v5 now. 4v5 as Josuru joins back the fray. Not saying them are going to be the main focus. Gets Atlas down, unfortunately. Still, the Gauntlet going to get a nice stun with a Blood for Blood. Joselu doing what a move. Leon now is going to be caught into the Ghosting Pick, able to turn it around, picks up the Idris to be stacked up. He puts Lelouch in the reboot phase, and they will be dropping one by one. Quadra kill. Will this be a pentakill? Unfortunately, no, because Leon does drop right at the end of that team fight, but quick ace going over the way of Oogie Boogie. Oh, I would have liked to see a little penta. That would have been fun.
Yeah, we were getting there, but that is going to be a Black Claw going over to the side of Oogie Boogie as they win out on another team fight. 23-12, still behind in gold, but it looks like they're going to be ahead in victories for this series here in a minute if they keep it up. Uncontested Black Claw, obviously, with the off the back of that ace. Joey Skaggs, he's at a very comfortable part on this point of the game on the Silver Nail. He's got his 3 items complete. He's sitting on a weapon infusion. This is where we're really going to start to see Silvernail put out a lot of massive damage. And Hegman, you know, with that first item, Spellfire, has done a great job shutting down a lot of the healing from Lyra. And that's one of the huge benefits that the Celeste has, is that AoE damage does spread mortal wound very, very easily.
Yeah, definitely. Like you just saw it there, was that Solar Storm applying the mortal wound very effectively. It was both just able to shut down 33% of the healing from this Lyra. It does give them a nice little bit of an advantage. So Nemo is going to try and dash through the wall. Will be dashing into the wall, unfortunately. Going to get re-engaged. Slow as a benediction. Applies the Alice Portal. Not going to be working out for them, unfortunately. The 2-man fish food. Huge plays coming out from your boy Keys. Going to be able to render them pretty useless in that fight. Black Claw is very, very low. He's not going to be the main focus. That they're going to try and get the Dragon's Breast. He's going to get stunned out of that. Solar Storm ripping on through, applying a lot of damage. Will we lose the Scarf? No, we'll be able to regen just barely. But now Leon, he's grinding up those stacks on the breaking point. He seems absolutely unstoppable with Joy Skaggs, but the Gauntlet will get a nice little bit of a stun. But this will be the end of game number 1, and it will be taken back by Oogie Boogie.
Yeah, that was a great turnaround for them there, Max. Obviously, Potato Petal did an excellent job in the middle portion of the game as well as the early portion of the game. But as we started to move later and later and got to the actual 5v5 team fights where everybody was built up, it really started going heavily in favor of Oogie Boogie. They looked a lot more coordinated than in most of the team fights, as well as they were always together for those late game team fights. Whereas looking at the side of Potato Petal, there were a lot of fights that they took and they were down a player or down 2 players. And I really think Oogie did a great job punishing them for that.
Yeah, definitely. They were able to pull it off really nicely. But I got it praised, though, the early and mid game coming out from Potato Petal. It was like a little bit like because it's basically Team Spain that we did have, except that there's 1 player difference. But it was basically Team Spain that we did have in the WSG Grand Finals yesterday against Team Germany. And the early and mid game is so good. They rotate really effectively. They stick out a team, but unfortunately, we saw at some point in time they had quite a bunch of mistakes. They would engage team fights 3v5, 3v4, like completely out of touch, and I don't know why they were trying to do that. I think they just got to try and refocus their late game and try and pick up team fights where they have, like, maybe not an advantage, but at least where it's evened out with the enemy team, because they would sometimes portal in and just be like 3v4, and it wouldn't be to their advantage whatsoever. So I would like the early and mid game. Once again, I'm going to repeat myself, but it's just their late game. I want to see a little bit more synergy and team play coming out from Potato Petal here.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you were mentioning that the hybrid Idris is something that's really big. I didn't feel it too heavily there. You know, I didn't feel it had the greatest impact. Also, the alpha as well, we kind of talked about. I felt like in the later stages of the game, those 2 builds may have played a little bit a part of the downfall. Alpha was doing great in the mid game, but she really falls off later in the stages of the game where you're up against so much that restricts the mobility that Alpha can really provide getting onto that backline. You know, the Silver Nail, the stuns that were excellent coming out of Keys, like with the fish food and the splashdowns for the slow, just really well played by Oogie Boogie.
Yeah, they're definitely really nice. Game number 1. If you did just join us, welcome to the European Champions Cup run by the Mobile Gaming League. I'm your host, Maxman, joined once again by Denomine, and we just have the first game that's ongoing right now in an Epic BO3. It is Team Oogie Boogie. Prior to that was called Team Exceed, but Exceed was an org that did leave Vainglory in the European scene. So they will, so they did rename to Oogie Boogie. That's why they have this name right now. And they are playing right now up against Potato Petal. It is 1-0 situation for Oogie Boogie so far. So we're going to be having to see if Potato Petal are going to be able to come back and make it a 1-1 situation, which actually they nominate. We haven't had a 3rd game so far in the European Champions Cup. So maybe today, that's what we'll have to see. And I think definitely this game has the potential to take us to a fully pledged 3rd game. Now we're just checking out Denomine. If you want to join the party, and we'll be ready to jump back in. Boom.
Trying to figure out some of the issues on this client that I'm having.
Okay, there's all. Yeah, we're on the PC client. Also, the PC client that has changed now. It is the alpha version now, so really nicely for that. And just gotta they're gonna keep working onto the PC version. Okay, well, they say to wait, so we'll just wait a little bit. It's all good, no problemo. Swap the teams, save it, perfect. You know, I think it was okay. They're just trolling in the chat. Okay, it's all good. Well, it's European competitive scene, anyways. What do we expect? Of course, it's gonna troll. Okay, just sorry guys, just setting it up. Choice character left. We're inviting, and we'll try and jump into the second game ASAP for you guys. And just waiting for the get-go from then. Anyways, once again, welcome here. Thank you very much to be spending a little bit of your time on this Sunday with us today on this European Champions Cup. As you probably already know, this is a community-run event. It's not organized by SCMC or anything else. This is us, the community in Europe, that has put this tournament together. And so if you want to support this kind of tournament, and if you want us to do this again in the future, or 2019 in general, please do type in chat !donate if you want to try and help us increase the prize pool for the winners of this tournament. We would greatly, and not only myself, also the players, we would greatly appreciate that if possible. Okay, and people saying I'm hiding my hair. Of course, I got the worst hairline in the entire Vainglory community. So what do you expect is going to happen into this second game? Are you think maybe going to be having similar drafts, or like a complete shift in this second game, Denomine?
Well, you know, again, a lot of the team fight coordination from the side of Oogie Boogie looked incredible at the end of that last game. But Potato Petal, they did a great job in the early game maintaining control, making sure the rotations were on point, making sure they capitalized every time they were able to get a kill by taking an objective. You know, we've seen that strong split push coming out of Idris in the top lane. But then I just feel like their comp didn't perform, I guess, the way that they wanted it to in the later stages of the game, up against Hegman on the Celeste. You know, again, and Hegman taking off of his comfort pick here as well.
Yeah, definitely. It just took his main pick away. So unfortunately for him, they do ban the Yates. Now still, a lot of priority picks still open. The Anchor, Lorelei, Finn, Churnwalker. I would like to see a Churnwalker pick up if it is taken. And it's on the side of the Oogie Boogie. I do think it will be played or by Hegman or by Leon, specifically Leon in general. I think that would make a lot more sense throughout this game. But so far, it looks like they are going for the soft lock ban. They do go for the ban at the end. They will commit to it and take away the Finn. Letting Churnwalker and Lorelei open, so one of those will be staying through. But they do ban Pedal away from Potato Pedal. I do not know what this means for them, but maybe this is foreshadowing, Denomine.
And maybe the Oogies know something. Maybe they know that Potato Pedal actually loves them some Pedal. But that one is going to be taken off the board. Finn and Arden as well. Finn, Arden, and Yates. So doesn't leave a ton of what we would call, like, you know, the pro meta heroes available. The Churnwalker does get picked up. The Lorelei get picked up. Those are the two big ones. The last one left that we really see a lot of in 5v5 is that Lyra, for her ability to support the lanes through her healing. But the Reza does make it through this time, and that's one that we've seen really excel all tournament long, and was actually banned away last game.
Yeah, it was banned, and throughout the entirety of the European Champions Cup, it's been a hero that we haven't been able to see all that much. I'm really stoked to see that on the side of the Oogie Boogie team. They did go, though, for the Grey. So far, they're going for a really nice front line with a lot of CC on the side of Potato Pedal. Something that Reza has a little bit of a hard time dealing with. Sure, he does have his Netherform Detonator ultimate to cleanse any kind of CC. But will it be enough? I'm not too sure about that. It's going to be pretty hard to pull off in the later stages of the game. But Reza is a hero that, if he gets a lead, even if you're tank, he will burst you down. They do, though, commit and go for the kinetic, taking that pick specifically maybe away from Leon. But I was about to say, Anchor is still available. Anchor might be picked up by the Oogie Boogie squad. And if that is the case, if Leon plays and goes for the Aftershock Clockwork build-up, this is going to be pretty scary.
Yeah, it absolutely is. We do see the kinetic get picked up by the side of Potato Pedal, which we've seen Leon absolutely excel with last game. Great plays coming out of him. The Silvernail and the Scarf do make it through on the side of Oogie Boogie, though, and I'm excited to see Hegman get back on that comfort zone pick for him. But Potato Pedal, They do have the Churnwalker. They do have the Grace, who will likely go very tanky on their side just to help block out some of those Spitfires. The Celeste obviously has to answer back here to just really have any way to contest the range and damage that Scarf has under his belt. And looks like they might even be thinking the Kestrel here. And Kestrel is not one I've seen a ton played in this recent update. The Anka is going to get picked up, though, and that is one that I see really, really, anytime it's left open. I'm actually surprised it made it this far through the draft.
Okay, so one thing I'm not going to do is click on the Yanko, otherwise it's going to completely mess up the camera, so that's something I will definitely not do. I learned from my mistakes. But yeah, they did go for that Anchor pickup. They have a lot of potential to just dive onto this Scarf and also this Silver Nail. And Silver Nail has quite a bit of peeling, so you could probably try and counter completely this Anchor if he does so. But also, Anchor does get banned by Kinetic, so it's really smart by Potato Pedal that they have this Kinetic and this Anchor together. They work really nicely together, and also against each other is a pretty nice matchup. So they have both on the same team. So Potato Pedal, I think, are putting off here a way better draft than what they had in game number 1. So this is maybe the comeback potential in this second game from Potato Pedal. Anyways, if you did just join us, welcome to the European Champions Cup. I'm Maxman, joined once again by Denomine, and we are ready to jump into the second game of Team Oogie Boogie versus Potato Pedal. Oogie Boogie basically being also Team Exceed, but Exceed being a Vainglory org that did leave the Vainglory competitive scene in Europe. They have decided to rename their team to Oogie Boogie. That is why we have this team that wasn't basically shown so far in this tournament. But we are ready to go, as it is now a 1-0 situation for Oogie squad. I'm going to have to see if it will be a 2-0 or if we'll be having a nice tie 1-1 and finally get our third game in the European Champions Cup.
Yeah, with how close a lot of that first game was, Max, I definitely would say this is one of our first potentials to go into a Game 3. Potato Pedal, they've got themselves some really unique picks here as far as what they're able to set up. Obviously, the Churnwalker and the Celeste can have a massive impact through both the shared damage as well as the crowd control that those two offer. Anka able to get to the back lines, maybe be able to take Hegman out early on in the fight, and those are kind of the things that the side of Potato Pedal are going to want to look forward to doing if they want to have a different outcome than they did last game. Hegman was never challenged and made it through a large portion of the fights, and again, Leon was able to scale uncontrollably on the Kinetic, which is now on the side of Potato Pedal. So I do like the draft that they have put together here.
Oriel securing that weapon buff for himself. Unfortunately, no Song Noma should have focused down Oriel instead of the weapon buff, and I will be giving that away, especially because Oriel does have that banner, so he's going to get that little bit of basically a small smite for himself. We do have a slow rotation coming out from Keys. Oriel still having that flask available. Will he use it? He will not. He knew he would go down. That's going to be a very fast first blood, just like in game number 1, going over the side of Potato Pedal. But we did have Hegman and Leon taking the rest of the jungle, just going for the gold oak in the back, and will be securing that successfully.
Yeah, gold dead even so far in this game. Obviously, we're still very early, but as far as the early trades, staying pretty neutral here. Up in the top lane, or top jungle, we have a little bit of a fight breaking out.
Yeah, gonna have a rotation for VG Rosu and also Keys. They're gonna try and pick that fight. Lelouch getting pretty low, so is Joselu. Getting a 2-man fish food stun right on top of Rosu and Joselu, but not gonna be able to commit for that as of yet. Fast rotation though to counter that invade. The weapon tune is pretty low. It will be secured away. Unfortunately, Dust Off Blades a little bit too early from your boy Lelouch VIB. Lelouch trying to make his way out. He did already use his flask earlier, so it will be the first casualty going down, picking up a double kill for the Reza. We were praising how good a Reza of a pick is when you hit the mid/late game phase and you already have a lead. So right now, that is definitely something Leon is looking to acquire for himself. A bunch of kills up his sleeves. So good start from the Oogie squad.
Yeah, absolutely is. Double kill picked up by Leon.
The basic attack follows you until the edge of the earth. Keys, be careful. Might not want to join that fight.
Nope, nope, nope. Keys down dangerously low as well. So 2-2 trade so far. Gold is in favor of the side of Oogie after that one. Hegman, he's going to return to the lane with some crystal power now. He's got a couple crystal bits. It's going to help him actually get into a decent farming rotation. And that's really, again, this is where all the eggs are going to be in the basket on the side of Team Oogie. Bruto is getting a little bit out on the side of the Oogie's jungle there, but he's not going to be able to get anything. Crystal Treant going to go over to Hegman, again, trying to get this Scarf excelled to the late game. Ariel is on the Adagio, which to me, Max, is a little bit different than his usual playstyle to me. Usually see Brood on a little bit more of like the tanky front line. Leon's looking for Gold Oak here.
Oh my god, Leon is thirsty. He wants those nutrients, secures the weapon buff and the Gold Oak on his very own 1v3. He does have his team rotate, but it's all gone. The nutrients are taken away, so there's no need for them to go for it, but they do want more. They do want Bruto, but they will not be able to find him, just forcing Bruto back under his very own mid lane turret. So far, almost 4 minutes into the game, a gold lead slowly grinding up for the Yugi players, but still nothing that can completely turn around a game. Just a nice little bit of an early goal lead. So Potato Pedal still having the potential to come back in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. But Reza getting that far ahead that early is a scary thing that is on the side of Oogie, and that's something that the side of Potato Pedal are going to have to definitely consider, because last game was close because Potato Pedal had such an advantage in the mid game. The compositions have almost like flipped themselves though in terms of what potential they have. So this game could still go into a game 3 if Celeste is able to get online and get online quickly and really harass Hegman with that range that Celeste gets at level 8, gets that Heliogenesis overdrive.
Yeah, definitely. Hegman has to apply a lot of pressure early on until Vigiloswe gets that level 8. Good point right there. But right now, they're going to be going for another rotation. Jungle respawning up. Looking at the builds. I thought Leon might go for the highly known European playstyle of Weapon Reza that people played. I still do not agree with, even at this point, at the very end of the 3.8 meta. I do not like it. So he is going for the Aftershock build-up. And I do know that also Leon likes Book of Eulogies in the jungle. Gives him a lot of damage and also sustainability. Core Collapse will almost connect, but Leon just those godly reflexes getting out of that under turret. Core Collapse will be able to change now his focus over to the Crystal Treant. Is he going to be able to steal it once again in the 1v3? Dance Off Blaze is available for Lelouch VIB. Can he secure it away? He will.
Man.
The godly secure, man. He is one of the best on those. Also makes me think of Sneaky just securing those objectives. They are so good at doing that. And just no fear, just fight, I would say. And as I say, basically Leon being our European Von C at the time.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to get stunned up there. Gonna make it out. Leon, as you mentioned, has just been the Steel Master all game. And it is very easy for Reza to do so. With the Aftershock proc and the Fire Starter proc, you can do a massive amount of damage on that next basic hit. And we see Leon using that a lot here. And that's actually gonna, help him now that he's got this Aftershock online so early. He has a lot of potential to jump into any of these lanes and get a very quick gank down and then get out and take more jungle rotations from the side of Potato Pedal.
Yeah, definitely doing really well so far. We're going to have a 2-man push into the bot lane. No Sung No Mo with Lelouch. Unfortunately, not going to be able to go and pick anything, at least at this point in time. So we have a slow rotation and a focus into the mid lane. Going to be able to connect around top. Oh, that Spitfire damage on Vigiloswe. But Hegman even doesn't have his first item yet. So it looks like he might be going for Spellfire. I think that would make especially a lot of sense, knowing that you are playing up against Joselu on this Grace pickup. So to negate a portion of that Divine Intervention heal would be very interesting indeed for them. Going to rotate around, but still not going to be able to secure anything. But man, Leon, he's just running around. He's ready to dive on through on some targets, just looking for anyone to lock down. We do have maybe an upcoming team fight in this bot lane as War Treads do come out from Keys, but not going to be coming up to much use.
No, not at all. Not a whole lot going to come out of that skirmish whatsoever. It's going to be a little bit of a jungle invade maybe coming from Leon here, who's been putting out massive amounts of damage. Bruto, he does need to be a little bit cautious here. Maybe the captain, but giving any more gold over to Leon is going to be incredibly dangerous for the side of Potato Pedal. They secure what they can, and they're going to now try to turn a little bit of aggression around, maybe being able to find keys. I guess just not the energy or positioning that the side of Potato Pedal are looking for.
Yeah, I think he just wants to be a little bit more cautious. We're going for another form detonator right on top, and he's
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Leon, give him a chance, please. Give him some room to breathe. Mirage Ultimate to get out of that Fire Starter stack there applied by Leon. He will be able to slip his way out of that one. Real going to get the grab back with the yank by the Torment. We'll be able to put Leon A little bit backwards, but not much. But unfortunately, Hegman is around the corner. Low on energy, but does not care. Trespass his way out of that one. Crucible will be done in time. War Treads from Oogie Boogie. That's going to be nicely done. Unfortunately, they will be able to get out of the range of that ability. As Nosung Gnome again dived under the turret. Going to be using his flask under his very own objective there. 4v4 team fight does get a little bit of damage. Nosung Gnome's A, but still not enough to just trade out at this point. But Joselu, he's going for a really nice rotation. He has the Benediction slow on the Holy Nova if he wants to. Going to be trying to dive on through onto Leon, but he does get the water wall, and that's going to be Leon out of trouble.
Yeah, Leon has been absolutely crazy on the jungle steals this game, able to get another weapon tree over onto his side and even make it out of the fight safely. I'll tell you what, that was a scary thing though to watch Leon running through the jungle, aftershock proc ready to go, double buffed, 2 levels ahead of everybody. Man, this Reza was looking scary early on, and this Celeste is struggling up against Hegman and his Scarf as far as what damage they're trading. But we do have a pretty substantial CS lead on the side of Celeste, VG Hosway. Hosway?
VG Hosway. Say it the Spanish way.
Hosway. Anyway, I'm trying, Max. But Hagman's just trading out damage 1-for-1, even against team-wide opposition. I want to see the damage charts at the end of this one. But a lot of gold management on the side of Potato Petal that's doing them a lot of justice as well. Bruto in the middle of this.
Trespass, but it was a core collapse. The CC chain is insane. Going to be able to hit a lot of damage down right on top of this Silvernail. Unfortunately, he will not be dropping down. Very sad for the Potato players. Leon, though, he's standing his ground. He's not ready to back off whatsoever. Going to be having a torment out of that Heliogenesis Nova, unfortunately, for themselves. But still, like, look at those team rotations. We are only 10 minutes in, and now we're starting to have these team rotations coming out from Ugiam, which is really nicely done. Looking for the re-engage. Leon is going to get another form detonator out of that one. He's just going to be trying to trade out a few abilities and items, I do believe. Nicely executed. But look at that CC from Keys on one of his best, if not his best pick in Vainglory 5v5 in his 3.8 meta. And he's got it twice in a row. This man is an absolute beast on that pickup. Now the re-engagement with the Benediction. We do have the Grace trying to force them back a little bit, but unfortunately not able to do as much as she would expect. They have a steal potential. They do have the vision. 2 scout cams, maybe a little bit overdue. But that Spitfire was huge. Solar Storm a little bit too late. It will be secured away by Hegman, but they're pretty low on HP. Hegman is looking for the re-engage. Does have the Mirage Ultimate. Going to get re-engaged by the Anchor. Will be able to slip his way out of that one for Ludovic VIV. Benediction getting 2-man's kill. Nicely done from your boy Joselu. But now can they find a kill? Can they try and turn this one around? I do not think so. Unfortunately, they're not full team. Nice damage output. Nosung Gnome just a little bit too lonely. One-man army is not going to be working out for his cause. Unfortunately, they nominate. They had an opportunity, but unfortunately not able to secure it for themselves.
Absolutely. That looked like a huge play for the side of Potato Petal, but then Leon was just able to answer back. Obviously, we've seen Grace come in and get the kill, get the double kill actually on that Benediction, but easily picked off by how high that damage spike from Leon comes through. The Aftershock, he's working into the Broken Myth at this point. And again, he's just been dominating a lot of these team fights. He's already up to level 10. And on the side of Potato Petal, that's right on par with where Celeste is as a mid lane.
Yeah, that's it. But right now, also, the entirety of the team of Potato Petal, they're all level 8 to 9 right now. But look at that, he's going one-man army. Leon, he's thick. He's looking for kills. Trespass will get the stun followed up with the core collapse. A little bit too much to deal with. Unfortunately for Leon, he maybe should have waited a little bit for his team there, but still, Hegman, he's not scared. He's going to be using his ultimate, but he knows he can't re-engage. He saw Joselu, and he just backed down of that fight. Lelouch could try and dive back on 3. Will be doing so. They do not have the turret anymore, but it looks like it's a little bit glitched. So unfortunately, double man core collapse going to be blocked out just in time. Now Benediction gets the slow. Re-engage from Joselu, just a little bit too deep on that front line. The damage output is absolutely huge from Joyskag, just able to zone him away of that one. The health bar just so low for the Potato players. Right now, right, trying to engage Joselu. Josue gonna get focused down. Holy Nova will be connecting, and once again, just someone out of position. 2 mistakes in a row coming out from Oogie Boogie, trying to play a little bit more of the team, but though he's looking for the engage once more. Leon picking up one and a turret for himself, and it is the Chelmwalker pickup. So now it's a 4v4 fight. Now, they are so low for the start of Potato Pedal, they should not be looking for any extra fights. They will be letting that one go away, but the same for Oogie Boogie. But right now, I think they're just looking for too many fights. But Blacklaw is now spawned also, Denominator. Maybe the next focus for the next winner of the next upcoming team fight.
That was a mouthful. But, yeah, I mean, that was excellent execution there. On the side of Potato Pedal to, again, recognize a mistake that the side of Oogie Boogie made. Obviously, Joey Skag caught out in a little bit of a rough spot. Leon was able to come through off the back of it, though, and kind of make up for it for them. But definitely going to have to be cautious on some of these dives. He has a massive amount of damage, but all of his defense right now is the fact that Reza is incredibly mobile. He does have that healing flask. So it's all about mobility for Leon. If they find a way where Churnwalker can... oh, hold on. We'll wait here.
Yeah, Solar Storm, unfortunately, just a little bit late. We'll be able to do a chip damage onto some Oogie Boogie members. Just not going to be that much. And they also have the regen from this Adagio. Just going to allow them to come back into the next fight. Normally, pretty soon. They're looking for it. They do not have the Grace. Grace is going to be on top of the map. And also they did have kinetic backport, so no fight opportunities from Potato Pedal. But if someone gets out of position, something we've been seeing quite a lot coming out from Oogie Boogie, then they could try and re-engage it. 45 kinetic still not around. We do have the Broken Myth. Finally, Baviji Josue again, his 4-item power spike. Going to be nicely done there for the next one team fight. That's going to be giving them a nice lead. And also they had so much CC Denominate, able to get a nice lockdown on heroes such as Joy Skaggs and also Leon on that Reza and Silvernail. So I think that now they also have that extra damage output with the Broken Myth. They could try and shut down heroes a lot more effectively, as we do have Leon diving in and out with a Troublemaker, just getting himself out of trouble indeed. And now they're pretty low. Lelouch and Joselu, not sure if they can try and re-engage this, especially Lelouch. There is a dive hero. The Spitfire's raining down on the Potato Pedal players. So is a Solar Storm doing quite a lot of work onto Hegman, applying that mortal wound, just going to be forcing him back a little bit. But still, the regen from Auriel on this Adagio being absolutely essential for the overall lineup of the Oogie Boogie squad, and definitely able to no kills whatsoever, like still applying a lot of pressure over all, and the zoning from both teams is pretty high.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The kind of the benefit that Potato Pedal... Ooh,
He's going for Leon. Once again, you're diving on your own. He does get the Crucible and the Divine Intervention. Also, his Flask will be able to save him. Rebuke into the wall. Unfortunately, going to get the stun. The Crucible going to be a little bit too late. But their Trespass will be not coming out anyways, as they do lose the Chumwalker. Dragon's Breath going to be able to find the killing blow onto the Anchor. Went a little bit too deep. And once again, overstepping your welcome, Joyce guys. Going to get smacked right back into the face. With the health bars from Nosong Nomo and Joselu pretty low. But that's going to be Oogie just knowing their limits. They will not be looking for that re-engagement, and they will be letting the remaining members of Potato Pedal to slip their way out of that one. Joselu, Solar Storm will be trying to go out there. Will it be connecting on anyone? I think it might be going onto Hegman. It will be indeed, but Hegman securing that CP buff for himself anyways.
Yeah, Leon looking to be playing a little bit dangerous here. Is maybe looking to pick off a kill onto Celeste, or at least get some harassment down. But this is usually kind of the part of the game where we'll start to see Oogie Boogie. They're going to be really focused on getting those team rotations in for the fights. And unfortunately, with where they're at right now, where Celeste has got, it's just the so the benefit here, Max, for the Celeste is actually the one that Oogie had last game around, and that's that Celeste actually has the ability to attack over those frontline targets, whereas the Scarf has to really get through and build some poke up before he's allowed to have much of an effect. And poking a little bit of damage there, but Celeste really just starting to take over a lot of these fights, especially when they get stuck into choke points on the side of Oogie. They get exploded by those Heliogenesis, and then the mortal wounds spread all around. If that's the time you choose to pop a fountain once we get one out, that's going to really be a little bit of a loss.
Going to be forcing out the block of the Holy Nova. Dragon's Breath coming out from Hegman. He's looking for the killing blow onto the kinetic. Can he be able to find it? I do think so. He's going to be completely out of position. Very unfortunately from the Potato players. But now Josue and Josue are going to be the two mans remaining and standing alive in that skirmish. Unfortunately, a little bit out of position. Chomoko especially very, very deep in that point, and just going to be CC locked down by Keese. And not going to be able to make his way out that one, as Ghostwing gets secured by Oogie Boogie, and Blacklaw also still being available, but no one will be going to focus it, at least for now. This clock will be on 10 seconds on par for almost every single player's remaining that did go down in the last fight. So I don't think Blacklaw will be the good decision here, but definitely the next upcoming team fight might be finally an objective secure on that Blacklaw.
Yeah, we're at the point in the game where side of Oogie, they do start to feel comfortable, and we've seen it in that last team fight as well. It looks like we might even be getting some more push out of Oogie here. They're rotating as a team. Leon looking for another buff, but this could be the next big fight.
Leon, once again, getting that weapon buff, core collapse. Not going to be a hidden scarf that was the main target there, but though the re-engage, Divine Intervention, gets the Crucible, gets the Flask, gets absolutely everything, and he will be able to make it barely out of that fight. Solar Storm going to be connecting onto the Jarjo. Oriel just going to be regen his way up against that anyways. Not too much of a hassle. Almost 90 minutes in, 12-7, a goal lead, 3,000 goal lead, going the way of the Oogie players. Not as big as we would expect, especially after that many successful jungle invades coming out from Leon in that jungle, just able to secure every single camp away from Potato players. So Potato Pedal definitely holding their position pretty nicely overall, but though we're going to be having one player out of position, and that will be Lelouch. VIB on this anchor going to be completely shut down as Dragon Blast going to be coming out once again from a Hegman Crucible, absolutely on point. 3 members down for Potato Pedal. Joslu going to be running away from that fight into the top lane, but they will also lose the Celeste. VG Horswood was in a 4-0 situation, never went down, and this is the first time he does die to the hands of the Oogie players. So now this might be the point of time where this game will completely tip over to the members of Oogie players, as VG Horseway right now is not able to just survive long enough in those team fights to just dash out the damage he should try and do.
No, you're absolutely right, and looking at the builds, you know, where Scarf has got himself into this game, we see the ultimates channeled through by Hegman. That broken myth you had mentioned to us last week, the shield pierce setting gives you inherently, plus the broken myth. It's almost true damage that comes out of Scarf, and there's really no way to protect from that. Leon is getting a little bit far here.
And now we're going to see the engage in the mid lane. If you get the second mid lane turret, 2v3, counter push against the sieging potential. Going to be pretty hard to keep that choke point turret available. We did have Silvernail and with Leon in the top lane. They're going to be able to push the turret. Not going to be able to find a choke point one, but still nicely done whatsoever. Bruto pretty low. Might want to get out of range. They do use a War Chest. They're going to try and get the re-engagement. Now do have the Nether Form Detonator, but the Dragon's Breath will do quick work and allow him to escape that situation. Dancer players doing a nice bit of damage from Lelouch. Going to try and change his focus around onto the Scarf. We'll be able to get the killing blow. That's a 3-on-1. Leon finally will be dropping down, but still will be able to trade it out for 1 kill. The Crucible isn't there anymore. He does have a block though. Core Collapse going to be able to connect a little bit too late, not cancelling the Verse of Judgment, unfortunately. But though they do have Joy Skags on this Silvernail, just going to be able to focus down this Celeste. And unfortunately, Bruto is not going to be able to do anything against this kind of situation. And this will be the second game and a 2-0 situation going over to the Oogie Boogie team.
Game 2 picked up by Oogie as they close out a nice 2-0 victory over the side of Potato Pedal. You know, I was hyping up the Celeste pretty big about having the stun and the range and that AoE mortal wound, but in the end, man, Hegman on these mages has just been in control of every single game he's played, and you know, huge plays coming out from him. Leon early on was able to get a lot of gold out of the Potato Pedal jungle. So even though Celeste had a little bit of an advantage in the mid lane for CS, overall, this is kind of a different play from the side of Oogie. You know, normally we see them play a little bit for the late game. They were very aggressive early on in game 2 here.
Yeah, definitely. That was, like, once again, really nice game coming out from the Oogie players. 2-0 situation, so they will be the Group A winners. That means that they will be playing against the second team that will be placed next weekend for Group B. So cannot wait to see that matchup, and also more plays coming out from those very, very skilled players. Unfortunately, Potato Pedal going to be the one getting the second spot then. That means that Potato Pedal will be the team playing up against, in the second spot, up against the winners of Group B. Anyways, that will be the end of this first BO3, and we'll be going back to the desk. Boom, voila. So anyways, congratulations to Oogie players as they was able to secure that in a 2-0 situation. If you did just join us, welcome to the European Champions Cup. I'm your host, Maxman, joined by Dane Nomine, that's at Disneyland right now. Pretty cool. And yeah, so that was our first game, but it is not done. We have 2 sets of BO3 for you guys today, and that was game number 1. Game number 2, that will be coming up in about 20 short minutes. We'll have to go on a break before we do have that match coming up. But it will be Jade Lightning EU having a little bit of a struggle in this European Champions Cup. They will be playing up against Fairytale. Them have been having quite a bit of success. They did lose some matches overall, because Potato Pedal and Oogie are definitely big contenders in this Group A for the European Champions Cup. But still, that match in Epic BO3 will be coming up in about 20 minutes. So we'll be going into a short break until then. Do you have anything to add, Denominate, before we do put this on pause?
No, I'm excited to get into the next matchups, and I'm excited to see what this Oogie Boogie team is able to do throughout the rest of this tournament. They've impressed us so far. You know, Hagman, again, just been a dominant player, and I think that's something that the opposition in the future is going to have to really take into account, is what Hagman, or what you can do to shut down Hagman, is what it seems.
Dive him. Well, it's hard to do.
Yeah.
I'm saying that. It seems easier to say than to do, but that's definitely sure. Like, Hagman being absolute beast on that Scarf pickup. Maybe even ban it away. No, that's an easy way. Like, just take care of him in the draft phase. That'd be fine.
Well, we've kind of seen it happen. They took him off what we thought his comfort of Scarf was going to be, and then dominated on the Celeste.
Yeah,
too,
that's
so
true. Yeah.
You gotta take them both away.
But anyways, thank you guys for sticking around. We'll be having second game once again, Jade Lightning EU up against Fairytale in about 20 minutes. So thank you for sticking around, and go get your drink, go get some popcorn. We'll be seeing you guys here once again in 20 minutes. See you in a bit.
From your house into outer space. We've been planning a getaway. From your house into outer space. No one knows we're so far away from home. No one knows we are further than you know. You got me burning up. You got me burning up. You take me harder. You got me burning up. You take me harder. You got me burning up. 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 You got me burning You got me burning You got me burning You got me burning You got me burning
Hello once again. Welcome your faces back to the European Champions Cup. Once again, if you weren't here earlier, we had a lot of action that did just unfold. But anyways, I'm still your host, Maxman, and always in the beautiful company of my good fellow friend and caster, Day Nominee. Welcome back. Well, apparently I'm on my own. It's all good. Okay. Day?
Yep, sorry about that.
It's all good.
I thought I hit my hotkey, and I apparently did not. I was sitting there talking to you. You weren't listening.
Oh, rip. It's all good.
We've got an exciting game up ahead of you guys. I gotta tell you, just looking at who we've got, Max, I'm really excited to see Chrysior play again. We got to see him on the Yates last weekend, and this guy was able to just execute a ton of plays. So I'm excited to get into this one.
Yeah, such a big impact with that hero. But anyways, if you guys did just join us once again, this is the second game of this Sunday. So if you want to be a little bit more in, know a little bit more and have a little bit more in-depth information of what did just unfold before this 20-minute break, I'm going to keep you guys updated. You're welcome. So we did have a first BA3. There was Oogie Boogie. There was called before Team Exceed, but Exceed being an org, they left Vainglory in the middle of this tournament, so they renamed to Oogie Boogie. So that was the team with Leon, etc. So they won up against Potato Pedal 2-0 situation, and pretty drastically, to be completely honest. They had a really nice domination, especially in that second game was the Reza Day nominee. That was pretty spicy, played by Leon. Now the game that will be unfolding in the next upcoming seconds will be Jade Lightning EU up against Fairytale. Jade Lightning EU, a team that had a little bit of a struggle throughout the entirety of this tournament. Still, this is the redeeming potential match for this team, so I definitely want to see how they're going to be trying to pull this one off. And they will be today playing up against the team of Fairytale that we all know and have a lot of nice players on their side. And talking about players, let's check them out. So, Jade Line in EU, right now they have the God EU, the End EU, the Wombo combo of players right now. Followed up with Scorpio, Ostromasauru, and also Introvert. So that's for Jade Line in EU, and Fairytale's composition is focused around Chrysior. We do talked a bit earlier with the Yates pickup, Jesus 27, Mr. Roma, Nighthawk, and Miguel Y map. Once again, this is the second game of the day. We haven't had yet one third game throughout the entirety of this tournament. No third games in these BO3s, so maybe this match is the match that we were looking for. But anyways, we will be ready to jump into the draft of game number 1 in any few seconds. Do you have anything to add before we do engage this first game, Denominate?
No, not at all. Absolutely.
Any picks you're looking for, maybe?
I mean, I'm just really excited to get into the draft here and see what kind of crazy comps we can get together. You know, I mentioned at the beginning, I really liked seeing Chrysior on the Yates. So I'd like to see him get another opportunity to play that one, maybe not against the Finn. But yeah, no, I just I think these two are going to bring a little bit of a different draft kind of outline to us than the first set of teams where it was very backline Crystal Mage dependent.
I guess it seems like the players are already just checking it out. We're going to be jumping into draft. We're going to be going once again through the matchmaking phase of a private game. Makes sense to me. And we'll be just waiting for that to actually unfold. Definitely a lot of picks that will be coming up. And that was actually pretty fast. Okay, thank you, game. We'll be jumping into the draft finally of this first game. Jade Lightning EU versus the team of Fairytale. Cannot wait to jump into the Vainglory action right now as I do go for the first ban of Churnwalker.
Yeah, Churnwalker definitely one that's had either huge impact or an underwhelming impact actually in our past couple of games. You know, Churnwalker, huge potential to stun an entire enemy team. However, he doesn't, up before that point, he doesn't have the best control over the game. Now we've got an Anka taken off the board, which we did see make it through in our last game, but did not seem to have the effect they wanted it to.
Okay, so right now I see the soft lock coming up from Randolph. Will they ban away the Reza? If they were looking last game, what William was able to pull off with that specific pickup, I wouldn't say it would be a bad decision, but anyway, they do ban away the Lorelei. Finn, Arden, still on the board. They do go for the first pick of Arden, going to let Finn open and available for the team of Fairytale. Definitely going to be one heck of a frontliner to deal with. Going to be pretty nice to have that one on your team if they do decide to go for it, because it does happen every once in a while where people do not commit and take a Finn, and they prefer going for mobility and like high mobility and CC instead, but they do go for the Finn. It's going to be able to just nicely frontline for their team. So I really do enjoy that, and especially if they try and put up a siege comp, having that polite company and the quibble pure potential is actually quite interesting. But looks like they might go for the Reza that is available, and if it is a repeat of what we had in last game, coming out from once again the Oogie players, that will be pretty damn impactful.
Yeah, there was a huge impact in that game by the side of Oogie Boogie, because Leon got so far ahead on this pick early on in the game. We've seen a very early rotation where he was able to get a gold oak as well as a weapon treant, and just be uncontested, and it was just a snowball out of Leon from there. We do have the Silvernail Lyra picked up on Jade Lightning EU, but a Vox actually is answered back now on the side of Fairytale.
I do like this Vox pickup. I think it might be a CP Vox. I wouldn't be really surprised, especially if you're doing only, at least for now, you're only dealing with an Ardent frontline. So if you're playing CP Vox, just able to Sonic Zoom out of range of this Ardent. Also apply your resonance bounces on him, and it'll hit directly the backline from the enemy team. But as right now, they do commit and pick up this Idris. We've been seeing it in multiple games throughout the entirety of this weekend, Denominate, and most of the time he's been played a hybrid Idris, you know, with a Sepper Mask, alternating current, Dragon's Eye build-up. Will this be the case again? I'm not too sure. They still have quite a lot of squishy backlines that are on the side of Jade Line in EU, so Idris could be a big threat to that backline, but will they commit and go for the fully pledged weapon path or go for a hybrid path? That is the question, as Ozo is on the soft lock right now. I'm not sure if they want to commit to an Ozo pickup. Kensei Tony definitely feel like a little bit more of a viable pickup in this current 3.8 meta, as they do go for the Lance. They needed an extra frontline and peeling potential. That is Lance, and he definitely fits that role. Okay, as we see, last pick available for Fairytale. Looks like they might go for the Grace. Not too sure of a Grace pickup, to be honest. I think there are other picks that might work out as effectively, but they do anyways commit to that. Who's never going to be having a nice little buff engage. Also followed up with the Benediction. They can allow the Idris to dive, and also with the Reza, so that'll be pretty nice. And also with the Burrow, with the shielding that she offers her team, that just allow the Reza and also the Idris, if he does go for any kind of dive, to be able to be a lot more sustainable on that frontline position.
Yeah, absolutely. The Lance definitely going to be an interesting one to watch, and how it interacts and how it's able to shut down Reza, which is going to be played by Mr. Roma over here on the red side. Sorry, I had to stretch there. Yeah, Reza, huge impact in all of the games that we've seen, and that's really going to be kind of that scary mid-game threat, is just the beast that can come out of a Reza. As you mentioned, we do have that hybrid build potential coming out of the Idris. I would like to see more games with that, so I can, you know, see how it's intended to work a little bit better. But you know, we also have this Vox that can flex very easily between weapon or crystal. So a lot of options on the board for both teams right now.
Yeah, seems like indeed Ranvalf will be going for the CP route on this Vox. That means he's going to be into the mid lane. Going to be pretty hard to deal early on with the Celeste. She can just bully him out of the lane, but the Resonance does do quite a bit of damage. So just going to be having to be a little bit cautious about that kind of engagement. We are now into the early game. We are into the first game, sorry, of this BO3. It is Jade Line in EU on the blue side and red side. It is Team Fairytale ready to go at it in the second game of the day. And now we're going to be seeing right off the back. Corpio is in the mid lane, doesn't have his allies, but he is looking for very, very early jungle invaders. Nighthawk, going to be a little bit overstaying his welcome. Only level 1. He will use his flask though in that trade-off, so nicely done by the rotation so far of Jade Lightning. And just going to be securing those camps away. But that will also be the case from Vox and Finn on Fairytale's team.
Absolutely. It looks like we are going to have this Crystal Treant picked up by the side of Jade Lightning EU. It's going to be a little bit of gold that they're able to answer back. They're a couple behind right now. Christ, you are in the mid lane on this Finn. Doing a great job, actually, of picking up some of those last hits while we were waiting on Randolph to rotate back on over here. Meanwhile, Lance is going to end up being the jungler for the side of Jade Lightning EU. And I think this is going to be interesting. You know, we've got a lot of European players who have really excelled on this hero, just thanks to the heavy amount of lockdown and damage potential that he's got. So I'd actually really like to see the NDU perform well here on this Lance today.
Yeah, Lance weapon definitely a huge powerhouse overall in this current meta. I do play it myself, to be completely honest. Just going for the Sword Blade, Spell Sword, and Tension Bow proc damage is just absolutely insane if you're able to pull it off properly. But it's the kind of hero that if it falls behind, it's rendered useless quite fast. So they just got to be very cautious around that specific pickup and just allow him to grind up the gold, grind up the levels, and just get himself a nice little bit of a lead. But right now, Crizio is going to be hammering down on Colpio. Colpio does have his flask though, so well, I thought that might be a little bit late on the flask though, but the Quibble will not be able to secure anything. Colpio just going to be able to sustain out of that one. Okay, 2 minutes 30 seconds in. A goal lead going up to a 500 to 600 goal lead for the Fairytale players. So not much still in this early part of the game. It's still something that you have to try and take care of as soon as possible, because we all know that a small goal lead can bring you to a huge advantage overall. So that's going to be a focus coming out from the Jade and EU team that I want to try and see come out. Maybe try and go for a little bit more of a fully pledged 5 or 4 man team rotation, trying to get that gold in their very own pocket, as the jungle is now starting to slowly respawn, and we're going to be seeing both teams rotating accordingly to take care of those camps. Hello?
Yeah, you are absolutely right there, Max. Sorry, I was having a coughing fit. That's why I was muted at the beginning, and I think I'm good to go now. But thank you for carrying me through there, the intro of the game. Yeah, I mean, overall, it's a pretty dead even game so far. We don't have any kills on the board. We don't have any crazy rotations that have put anybody ahead in the gold right now. It's still very, very even. And I think a lot of that is to be said about how the meta is really forming out to be. And a lot of these teams are choosing to play for the late game. You know, that's why we see such a focus on picks like the Celeste, like the Reza, like these Scarfs. And you know, that's one huge thing that I think Jade Lightning have going for them here, is they have that Celeste pickup, and there's nobody that can really match the range on the side of oh, I'm drawing a blank here, Max.
Yeah, the only thing could deal with the range. The only thing that could really deal with the range there would be like a Scarf pickup. So yeah, it's just they're gonna have to be very careful. Like Colpio is like with the Celeste as a hero that's gonna be zoning you out with those Heliogenesis. So I think right now the best thing to do in team fights for the side of Fairytale is just dive, take care of the Celeste right away. If you let a little bit too much time, she's going to be able to land down those Heliogenesis and just zone you out completely. If you overstep whatsoever, she will be able to trade out a lot of damage just for you overextending yourself. So definitely, so this is going to be, I think, the main focus throughout the entirety of this game coming out from the side of Fairytale. But I'm looking at the build so far. Looks like Ostramaceru is going to be going for a Storm Crown, which I'm not too sure what to think about, to be completely honest. I think maybe going for an Aftershock / utility kind of build-up would make a lot more sense in this kind of situation. But anyways, it seems like he will be going for the item overall. Or he might change for the Aftershock. He does have the potential right now. He still hasn't got the item. But I think overall it would make a lot more sense. We're going to see a 3-man invade. Let's try and get the proc. It will be taken away. Ostramaceru with the Blood for Blood. But the re-engage from the Reza is there. And that's going to be a first kill. Going over to the side of Fairytale. Mr. Roma very low, but Celestorm ripping on through. And we'll be able to find a very sneaky killing blow right there. Traded it out to 1-1. But still, first blood went over to the side of Fairytale, so nicely executed as the Crystal Trin is now up and going to be a little bit of a control point for both of these teams. Introvert, yes, nice.
Yeah, that was actually a great example of how to use that Solar Storm. Colpio was able to hit level 6 there, and off the back of them actually losing out on Ostramaceru. We got a good clean snipe back, and that's going to help Celeste get into this later stage of the game, as well as it takes away anything that the side of Fairytale may have got going for them when they were able to pick up that kill onto Arden. They weren't able to capitalize on a rotation after it, and that's really where we want to see a Reza excel, is he wants to get ahead, and if the side of Fairytale doesn't get far enough ahead, then we can see this Reza really fall off early on.
Yeah, Reza's going to have to be very cautious. We are 6 minutes in, doesn't have his first item quite yet, but he has 2 minion candies. Very, very underrated item in my opinion. You can really use it to apply pressure early on in the lanes. You're going to see, man, a 3-man engage onto the God of You, but that's a very nice gift them wall, though. Not going to be able to cancel out the Netherform Detonator. Unfortunately, he's still able to get himself out of that skirmish. He did shop. He has the Sword Blade. The NDU went for the Sword Blade first item, which I do really enjoy against this comp. Crizio, he's looking to play a little bit aggressive, maybe a little bit too aggressive, as he's going to get re-engaged and slowed down by that tripwire. Nice stun, and also get them wall on Nighthawk. Very low to going down, but the God of You, the Force Accord. Godly moves from your boy Crizio. Solar Storm will be coming through, and oh my god, nice Solar Storm. I didn't see it right there, but still nicely executed. The NDU going to try and peel his way out of that one, but I do not think that's going to be possible. Mr. Romo will be claiming his life in a very clean swoop.
And 2 snipes coming out of Culpio here early on to pick up the kill on back of what's otherwise a bad fight. Oh man, Reza comes through.
Yeah, going to try and teleport his way out of that one. Does use a block. Wait for it. Will be coming through and will be able to get the killing blow down onto Introvert. 7 minutes, 30 seconds in. 5-2 and a goal lead that's almost inexistent, but just a little bit of a kill lead going over to the players of Fairytale in this early games phase denominate. They are now going for this Ghost Wing, and I think that's the good call to do, as they do not have the Lyra, they do not have the sustain with Netherform Detonator back in from the Aroma. Just a little bit overstepping his turf. Trying to steal away. It will be secured anyways by the Fairytale team. That is a 4-man, 5-man engaged, as Jade do have that Quibble hitting down, getting a kill onto this Silvernail. Corpio running for his bare life. Should be able to get his way out of that one. Crazy or Force Accord available in the next upcoming 3 seconds. The Fairytale looking very, very strong in this early game phase.
Yeah, absolutely. The Reza has had a... Oh, boy.
Talking about the Force Accord, and there it is. He's going to be able to pick up 1 easy kill onto the Celeste under our very own turret, and they might be able to even pick up that turret. They do have a pretty nice wave. Introvert, unfortunately, can't do much against that, at least for now. And they will be giving over their first turret, giving a lot of room now for Fairytale for the next team fights, and that's going to be really nice to pick it up under the 10-minute mark denominator. So that's really huge for the Fairytale players.
Yeah, 2 in a row, big Forced Accords coming for Chrysior there, able to pick up some kills. Meanwhile, you have a turret taken in the mid and in the bot lane off of that push as well. So far, Finn has had a massive impact here. We have a Crucible complete now for Introvert, so hopefully we can get the block off of the back of the next one, maybe take a little bit of relief for the team and you know, not being forced out of position. Because Celeste wants to fight from that heavy range that she has. You know, she's got her overdrive on the Heliogenesis. There's nobody that can really compete with her for that range. But if Celeste gets pulled in by that Forced Accord, that sets her up for a lot of free damage coming out of the Reza and the Idris, who don't have to commit themselves into the middle of a fight at that point.
Definitely, and that's why the Crucible is going to be that much more important. Unfortunately, they didn't have it earlier when Crazior did unlock his level 6 with the Force Accord, so now they do have that item available for when they do decide to fully engage in a team fight. So I do like that. Double man, get them all onto Mr. Roman. Randolph, nicely executed. He does use the Force Accord, and it will be Crucibled out, as I just talked about it. Nicely done. And he has the Impale, will be able to connect and get out of position. Randolph, he does get the Polite Company, so extra HP bar, but able to teleport back. Randolph, that was really nicely done actually by Introvert, but the Divine Intervention will be enough. Solar Storm ripping on through, right on top of the res. He's going to be getting them all back into that tripwire, silenced up, and he will get taken down by Fairytale. The NDU, be careful, he's going to get dived onto, going to be using actually the Lance to close the gap and hit down onto the Celeste. He's going to lose his life in the process, unfortunately, but Ostromasaru used the gauntlet trying to make his way out of that one, but that's very unfortunate for him. Nice try, but he will die in the middle of that Ghostwing pick. But man, I got to praise the move from the Idris there, just able to ult his way onto the Lance, get the kill on the Celeste. That was really nicely done.
Yeah, it was. In the NDU, it looks like he might be able to come and save his own weapon treant here. He's going to force off Finn, at least for now. Vox has had just a fantastic time during this game. He's been given an easy front line of the enemy to get a resonance onto, or a pulse onto, I mean, and then start splashing that resonance around. And it's had a huge impact on the fight so far. The Lance, you know, it's almost a downfall that he has that little bit of a lockup after he uses that Impale. It gives the Vox just so much time to start spreading that damage around. Huge
Oh, the Force Accord. Crucible will not be coming out. Unfortunately, it does go out for the Quibble, though, to block that nice stun. So, unfortunately, they did catch out Corpio out of position, but they're able to just make up for that in just a few seconds. Arden and Silnell going to be in the top part of the lane. They will not be able to counter in any way, shape, or form this invade. They do get the Divine Intervention followed up with the Solar Storm. Will be able to connect on the entirety of the team of Fairytale. But man, this range, you're talking about it. I'm praising how good Celeste is going to be on those Heliogenesis and doing so much, keeping Jesus out of range, and he will not be able to re-engage just way too low. They re-engage that one clean swoop. 2-man going down. They're going to try and commit, try and get Corpio. The Reza, he's pretty low. You're going to get focused down quite heavily, so he can't close the gap anymore. Ultramasaru with the blood for blood, picking up the Reza. Colpio try to get out of that. Nice damage though. Basic attack will say with a Hito. That's going to be able to turn it around. Colpio in the mid lane. Low on energy, low on HP. Should try and backport very soon. But that was a pretty like even fight on both teams. Not going to lie, Denominate.
Yeah, it was a great chase down by Astra Masaru on to get that kill onto Mr. Roma. Colpio then able to answer back, get a kill onto Grace. Even though he's got such low health and his energy where it's at, he was actually able to hold off that mid lane turret, and that was a huge wave Celeste just picked up for herself.
Unfortunately, oh no, can he do it? Oh, that would have been so nice to see a 1v2. But unfortunately, not going to be working out. They also did add Crizio just in case, so not too much of a hassle right there. The rotations, we have the Solar Storm ripping on through. Oh, I thought that might actually be connecting on Randolph or also on Jesus 27. They were pretty low, but that will not be the case, unfortunately. Almost 30 minutes in. The Black Claw is now spawned, 15-6. Going over to the side of Fairytale, but gold lead almost non-existent. Only 1k gold lead when you're almost 30 minutes into the game. That is not that much of a gold lead, so this is still anybody's game without an ounce of a doubt. Jesus 27 going to get focused down. We'll be able to slip his way out of that one.
Yeah, so far we have a pretty substantial kill lead on the side of Fairytale. Mr. Romer has gone in.
Oh, Stromasiri, what a beast, putting a lot of damage output, but also getting traded out quite effectively. The NDU, pretty low, going to try and make his way out of that one. Holy Nova again, the stun, the Crucible going to be way too late. Coming out from the other side, but now they do not have the Crucible, they do not have their roam anymore. And that's going to be one, picking up two, maybe picking up three as they're going to try and change their focus over to the God EU. But he will be able to get to the safety of his turret, going to be in the safe zone at least for now. No ace, but nicely done. Fairytale just able to force out those Crucibles really nicely, and then just easy grabs for Crizio to land down.
Yeah, Crizior has had pull after pull that just changed the way a team fight was going. It looked like everybody was pretty much going to get out. Oh,
the end?
In the end, you in a rough spot.
It was that combat roll. You're going a little bit too far, my friend. He will be picked up kind of fast by this Vox. God EU is around the corner. Can he get the steal? He can get the steal, the God EU. He's got that name for a reason. Jesus going to try and trace him, focus him down. Can he do so? I do not think so. Jesus getting focused down. He does use the flask. It will be enough, at least for now. Mystery rotating around, does get the blood for blood. Also, the Bulwark will be doing quick work. Divine Intervention a little bit too late. But the God EU, what a beast. What a God.
Yeah, absolutely huge plays coming there. And you know, I was starting to mention it earlier. We have a huge kill lead for the side of Fairytale right now. But I think it's been a constant thing for me with Fairytale is they get ahead early in the kills, but they have not done a great job of capitalizing on jungle rotations or objectives off the back of those kills. We're 12 kills up at 15 minutes in the game, and there's only 1,000 gold lead, and it just doesn't feel like Fairytale are getting as far ahead as they would like to. And I think as Celeste now starts to come on with 4 items complete, this could very easily start to swing around.
Yeah, they could easily do that, but I want to talk about the itemization real quick. Itemization, I said that wrong. But Celeste went for the Dragon's Eye, and I personally do not agree all that much, even though I do know that Finn is quite easily some of the best stacking materials for enemy teams. So they did decide to go for that. I do understand the thinking behind that, but I think when you're dealing with a Vox, with a Rezan and Idris are going pretty low on defense, I think the gun for fully pledged burst would have been way more interesting. So maybe a broken myth right now at this stage of the game would have been nice to have. But anyway, could be working out for them. The team fights do last quite long, so he does have the time to stack it up anyways, his nominee.
Yeah, vision control heavily in favor of the side of Fairytale right now. If you look at the minimap, you can see where all these scout cams are spread out. There's not really a whole lot that Jade Lightning EU can do without the side of Fairytale knowing it. Meanwhile, Fairytale, they're starting up the Black Claw for themselves. Chrysler and Mr. Romer over here.
Also, Maseru in and out. Blood for blood, Vanguard. He's not going to be in any trouble, at least for now. Get them all. Follows up. But the NDU, unfortunately, a little bit of miscommunication there. Going to be diving way too lonely. But that's going to be also the case. Turnaround. Reza going solo 1v5. Force the cord. Crucibled out. Not even a need to crucible that out because they were just not ready to engage 4v5. Crazy being Finn on the front line. Also, being Finn very slow. Can't make his way out of that one. 2 kill pickups, 3v5. They're going to try and close the gap and try and focus down the enemies. Lance is there. We know he's got such a CC lockdown potential. And there will be 1 kill pickup on that chase. Can they chase any more? Can they get Randolph? I do think so. He does use the flask, though. They're still engaging. Does get a slow from the resonance. But I think that's going to be Randolph making his way out of that one. As we do see, though, Idris, he's engaged in the 1v2. The Corcalax does connect. They're pretty low. Shakram coming out. He's picking up one, picking up maybe two, but no, the Blood for Blood will have reason and get the killing blow on that Idris. Nicely done, but unfortunately, that will be the fight going over to the side of Jade Lightning EU. Blacklaw is up, but Mora's around the corner.
Yeah, big turnaround there for the side of Jade Lightning EU. They're not going to have the health or the damage to take the Black Claw. And now with Fairytale...
Oh, the silence! Oh, the God EU! That was beautiful! I love it. Now going to try and engage. Alice supplied by Chris. You're not going to be hitting the target, unfortunately, but that was visual ASMR for me. I love it.
That was a huge play from In the God EU. Fairytale, they looked like they were coming in strong, full health bars. It just maybe didn't come in at a steady enough pace. Now, this Black Claw has started back up again, and in this fight, Mr. Roma's on the run. I think this one's going to go over to the side of Jade Lightning.
Yes. No, another form detonator trying to cleanse the mortal wound, but no! He'll go down! That won't be enough! Oh my God, nice. Poggers in chat, guys.
Yeah, it was a lovely attempt from Mr. Roma and Chrysior to save the life of Reza there. In the end, that bleed came through a little bit too strong. Culpio a little bit stacked up there, able to get some high ticks on that bleed damage, but this fight's not over.
Cool, Collapse going to be missing out the target, but they do lock down Nighthawk. A little bit out of position, going to be able to trade him down to mid HP. This is the 3-man siege, but they do have the Celeste and the Lyra. They can keep this siege ongoing for absolute ages. Quibble going to get blocked out from the stun. Turret going pretty low in the mid lane. Divine Intervention coming out onto the Idris, trying to get the engagement, but can they find the turret? That's the important part. They will be able to find it. It was a nicely timed heal from Introvert right there on that. Now they're going to rotate out. They do have the Ghost Ring up. They could easily try and look for more objectives, maybe especially push the top lane. The wave is so big right now, and I think that maybe they're going to have to need to see them take care of that on the side of Fairytale. They are making their way up there, going to be giving them a little bit of extra gold. But 90 minutes in, and the gold lead slowly going over to the side of the camera. Slowly going over to the side of Jade Lightning, and you were talking about that Celeste pickup, definitely doing a lot of work. They're re-engaging, and they will be able to find someone out of position, and that person will be Nighthawk, that doesn't have the best disengaged potential there, Nominee.
No, absolutely not, and this is really where Culpio is starting to take over a lot of these fights. We see that mortal wound coming through, and that bleed damage is just so huge for Celeste, who's able to poke with area of effect damage, able to get that mortal wound spread out to multiple targets. There's nobody to contest it at this point, and we see the push continuing from Jade Lightning. They're not even fearful of Fairytale just coming back off the platform and having their health bars ready to go.
Oh, force the cord on one lonely Sil. Oh my God! Look at the CC potential between that Gauntlet and the Rebuke. Nicely executed overall, and he's just playing around that tripwire, man. The God EU on this Silvernail. Just such a good pickup overall. The Impale going to be locked down onto Jesus27. Jesus27 turning it around, able to pick up one kill. But we have the Invade coming out from Introvert, trying to get that fight. And he will be able to pick up that kill with his Bulwark and his heal. No too much of a hassle right there. 20 minutes in. And Jade Lightning, like we're talking, like we had a lead going definitely over to side of Fairytale. But now this late game is just 100% going the way of Jade Lightning.
Yeah, it absolutely has been. I thought that was a clean pick there for the side of Fairytale. They pulled in the God EU, had him all alone. He has no block of his own, and they weren't able to punish enough. And then, you mentioned it, the Rebuke and the Gauntlet, the ability to help that Silvernail get out. He's able to then turn around, stack up, and start scaling in that fight. And even then, Introvert as well. Idris had used the Shimmer Strike to try to avoid some damage. Lyra just said, okay, I'm just going to run you right back into my team at this point, and they were able to pick up an extra kill there as well. 16-21 now. What was once there, Max, a 12-kill lead for the side of Fairytale is now only sitting at an uncomfortable 5 at this point, as they're down 5,000 gold as well.
Yeah, Fairytale a little bit on the back foot of this game. I'm checking out the builds at this point. I'm checking out Chrysior. He went for an Atlas Pauldron. Something I don't definitely agree with in this kind of situation. He doesn't have the potential to close the gap on the Silvernail like effectively in a very also nice way. But Force Watchers will be coming out from Chrysior, and the Force Accord was already used, so unfortunately cannot use that anymore. Shukram going to allow a few stacks on Dragon's Eye for the Idris played by Jesus27, but not going to be able to follow up with those stacks. Looking for it, the damage up. Look at that here, Genesis. So much damage. Core collapse, lockdown, gift him wall. Get out of here, Idris. You're just getting smacked at this point. Finn on the front line. Now he does get the Atlas Pauldron though. I mentioned it might not work out, but he did get it right there. The heal from the Lyra. The Vox doing a lot of work. Might not want to stay close to that. Colpio going to be completely split away from his team. Holding over a little bit too late at that point. Introvert very low. Ostramaseru though, he's just chilling up there. He's not moving. I do not know what's going on. Very unfortunate to have an AFK at this point in time. But they will be able to turn around that fight in a 4v5 situation.
Yeah, and that's really something that Fairytale needed to get there. It's a little bit of confidence in themselves for this next team fight. Hopefully we will see Arden come back here shortly. Introvert a little bit early on the steal.
Going to be teleporting his way out of that one, but that will not be enough. Another form detonator just in case. That's going to be the killing blow dealt to Introvert. It will not be an ace, you know, they have an FK, but they're not killing him, so fair enough. Thank you very much for the side of Fairytale playing it nice. He is taunting. Ostramaseru, what are you doing, my dude? Is he trolling or is he AFK? I don't know.
Something had to have happened. Unfortunately, players are all responsible for their own connection. Hopefully he'll get back in here soon because things were starting to look really good for the side of Jade Lightning and the EU. And now Fairytale, there he is right there. So maybe Jade Lightning, they can still close this game out. Gold's pretty much dead even across the board. We did see a little bit of objective going back in the side of Fairytale at that point. They've now got the Black Claw started, but now here comes the side of Jade Lightning EU. Celeste could make a huge steal here.
Solar Storm is available. She's going to be using it, unfortunately, a little bit too early. She didn't have vision on the objective. Colpio going to be able to block out that Force of Cord, but that will not be enough. He's just going to be taken down in a few split seconds. Rebuke down onto Randolph. Maybe you don't want to put him away because he was dashing out so much damage. He's just pretty low too. So is the Black Claw. This fight could go either way, but they do take down the Aegis at the end of that skirmish. Mr. Roma one-on-one on the lance, but still going to be taken away by the Arden. It's still confirmed by the Jade Lightning team. They had the Arden come back, and that's just what they needed. Silence onto the Finn. Going to be slowed down. Chris, you're not going to be able to make that way out of that one. A team fight, and Black Claw secured by Jade Lightning. Such a nice execution.
Yeah, and they're going to pick up another one for themselves there. Triple kill. And, you know, again, Gold very even at this point. Thankfully, Ostramaseru was able to get the steal there at the very end onto the Black Claw. And now the rest of Jade Lightning EU, they can start to work their way into the base. Mr. Roma, the only survivor on the side of Fairytale. That's going to be a dead armory for sure. But can they clean up the game is the question. Just the three of them.
Celeste did backport to base, unfortunately. I think this could have been a GG, but this is a 3v2 counter into the base of Fairytale. They should be able to stop this this end game. Also, the Vein Crystal doing quite quick work of the God EU. Introvert, though, is going to be giving 3 stacks over to the Vox on his Dragon's Eye. The Vein going to be focusing Introvert, almost going down there, but we will be able to run away from that fight. I'm just going to be changing the focus over to the CP buff, denying that away from the Fairytale players. But still, I think if Celeste was there, that could have probably been the end game denominator. A little bit of a thrown situation. Let's just hope that Jade Lightning don't regret that in the next upcoming team fight.
Yeah, definitely. As we get later and later into this game, a simple mistake can swing an entire game in just a matter of a couple-second fight. So we'll have to see which team is able to pull together here. Obviously, we've seen Fairytale very, very strong in the early game of every single game that we have spectated. And it starts to fall off from there. Again, the Vox, he doesn't have a very easy time of dealing with the zoning potential that comes out of Celeste. So this next fight could really swing things, but the Vein Crystal's wide open on the side of Fairytale right up that mid lane.
Yeah, it is pretty well open. We're going to see the entirety of the team Jade Lightning EU. They're sticking around, but unfortunately Fairytale, they're there. Triple man force the core. Crucible a little bit too late. Unfortunately on that one, the focus on Jesus is absolutely on point. Makes his way through the gauntlet, and he will be able to get one queen sweep right on top of the Celeste. G27 E-stack, he's looking for Ostramaseru, but now he's leaving his allies on their own. But that's not a problem as they're picking up 1, 2, and 3, and looking for more. Picking up 3 kills overall. Jesus27 going to be able to find 1 backport in Lyra, the NEU. Eventually, yes, this will be the end for their team as he's going to be the last man standing. Going to try and run away. Idris mega stoked in this game. You see the potential and how scary Hybrid Idris is in a late game. But right now, the bot lane is cracked open. The base is vulnerable. And this is the opportunity for Fairytale to try and end this game. They're going for it. The death timers are just way too short. And this normally should be game number 1 of this BO3 going over to Team Fairytale in what is probably one of the closest matches we had so far in the European Champions Cup.
Yeah, that one was incredibly close there through the mid and late stage of the game. Chrysaor came through with some absolutely huge forced accords. And looking over the opposition, we had 2 Crucibles. We had one on the NDU and Introvert, and time again, the forced accord was still able to come through unblocked. And that's just something that we have to see really stepped up at this level of gameplay. If you're going to allow a Finn through the draft, you have to be prepared to block that forced accord. Otherwise, you can get punished so easily by this hybrid Idris, as well as the damage that Reza is able to put out.
Yeah, definitely. Like, also, the position there at the end game was definitely really nice. Able to catch off guard the enemy team of Jade Lightning, and it just didn't give enough room for Introvert to put down that Crucible. Also, the Eneater did have a Crucible, just not going to be enough. But they're still nicely executed overall from both sides, as we do have a 1-0 situation going over to Fairytale. Will this be a 1-1 situation? Will we have a third game? I think this is one of the first games where you do actually have that potential, Denominate, because this was so close, and I did really enjoy this game number 1. Cannot wait to see what both of these teams are going to be bringing up in the future.
Yeah, you are absolutely correct there. As we're going to get ready to get into game 2. I like both of these teams, and I think both of these teams have a lot of potential. So it's anybody's game going into game 2 here. I feel late game should have went in the favor of the draft of the side of Jade Lightning EU, but you know, again, a late game team fight side. Oh boy, I literally just said their name. Fairytale. I don't know why I struggle with them so much. But we've seen them pick up a late game fight there, recognize that they had the damage to close through the armory and through the Vein Crystal, and they were able to pick themselves up a win.
Yeah, I guess I'm just reinviting all the players so we can jump into the second and maybe last game of today's stream. Let's not hope so. Let's hope it's going to be one nice match. Nighthawk is the last man remaining before we're able to jump into the second game. Anyways, welcome everyone. If you did just join us here, this is the European Champions Cup brought to you by Mobile Gaming League. I'm your host Max, and I'm joined still by my good friend Denominate to cast these matches for you. So far, we did have 2 matches today. We are ongoing the second one. We did have earlier Oogie Boogie up against the side of I don't know. I forgot the team name too. Man, this is infectious. Not good, not good. But it was Oogie Boogie up against Potato Pedal, and Oogie Boogie took it with a 2-0 situation. So far, it's 1-0 in this current match, going over to Fairytale. If they do win the second match, it will be 2-0 for them too, and it will be 2 matches ended with 1 clean sweep. But let's hope that will not be the case, and let's hope we go into the very first third game of the European Champions Cup. We're just checking out if the teams are ready, and if they are, we'll be jumping into draft of game number 2. So before we do jump into that, let's go. Oh, well, they're just okay. Not before. Everyone's ready, so we're just going to be jumping into the draft. Do you have any expectations in terms of draft to come out here? Like, you saw the CPE, the hybrid Idris. Like, what do you think of it now? Do you think it's pretty good? I think it's pretty impactful in that game.
I think either way, Idris, just once he has that ranged path unlocked, whether he does go into that late game hybrid or not, I think Crystal Idris is very strong right now. And I would still like to see more of this hybrid Idris to see just how well it works. We've seen a win and we've seen a loss, so I've got a good general idea. But I actually am glad that the Reza gets taken off here and the Anka for our own benefit bats. But Reza has been just an absolute dominant force in all the games that we've seen today. Able to take very, very early leads through the just barely getting into the mid game. And that really limits that flexibility and movement or mobility that a individual can have. So Reza's like that high priority pick right now, man. He's what's hot.
Yeah, you pick Reza, you win. But that's going to be first banning away from Fairytale. Looks like they're not ready to commit and take it for themselves, which I could understand. And also I think they want to let maybe S tier priority picks available instead of a Reza, even though I do think the Reza is part of those S tiers. Finn available, Lorelei, Chilmuka, Arden still on board and open for pickups if needed. Looks like they're going to be banning away that Finn. the pedal was banned away, so they're going to be letting that priority pick, a lot of those priority picks going through, but that's actually really smart. When you are on that B side, that means you're letting more picks available for your very self, as they do go for the Lorelei, Finn and Arden, and also Chelmoka open for pickup. Though it will be a Yates first pick, and kind of surprising they went for that, but followed up with the Arden, which in my opinion isn't surprising at all.
I would really, really like to see the Finn come here for the side of Fairytale.
Yeah.
They had a great performance with it last game. We mentioned time and time again those big forced accords coming out of Chrysaor. Now up against a Yates is another area where Chrysaor can shine if they get the Finn, because again, Finn is unstoppable. You cannot pull him in with that Wolf Small, but they end up going with the Churnwalker. And I think with the performance that we had from Chrysaor last game on the Finn, I think this was a bad choice to switch it up here.
Yeah, they do go for the Churnwalker. The CC is going to be absolutely disgusting coming out from Fairytale. Look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Fairytale going to be going once again for that Idris pickup. I guess it will be played once again by Jesus27. Mega impactful as the carry. Last game, able to pick up 1v2 situations without too much of a hassle. They do go though for the kinetic. I do definitely like that pickup. They needed a good weapon bot line carry. They can also focus down characters pretty heavily when they do combo it up with the Yates grab. Definitely a hero that can fill up that kind of situation. But though they do go for the Vox next, I think this might be a CP Vox. In my opinion, pretty smart. Easy to dash out the damage when you have a Churnwalker against you. He's going to be your main tool to just share the damage between the entirety of the enemy team. But apparently you want to go for an alpha for the side of Fairytale. And that is something that I wouldn't really agree with when you're playing up against a CP Vox and Arden. They have a lot of peeling for themselves. So it looks like they might go for an Inara instead. And that, I do really appreciate. A lot of CC and engage.
I am glad that we have the Inara and not the Alpha.
Yeah.
I genuinely do not feel Alpha's in a great spot this particular update. It's so easy for her to be shut down. She spends a lot of time chasing, and there's just no great way to have Alpha fulfill that kind of bursty jungle carry role that we would see out of something like a Reza or an Inara or even an Idris we've seen.
Yeah, definitely something to keep in mind. They do go for the Malign then, so I do like the Malign. Early game potential with Yates. In my opinion, I say that all the time when I play Vainglory. Malign Yates is one, if not the single most disgusting early game comp. It's just it's just so annoying to deal with. You get grabbed, you get focused down, you get stunned also if he's level 2. And then you got the Malign. She comes in level 1, has a crap ton of damage because she has 2 abilities available. And then can just also lock you down, light ribbon, get the root down so you're going to be out of position for even longer, and then put the shadow tendril and just shut you down. So I definitely expect high early game plays coming out from Jade Lightning, but if they do not do that, for me, if the early game doesn't go to the way of Jade Lightning, this game is 100% go the way of Fairytale.
Yeah, and that's the difficult thing, is we do see Fairytale continuously getting ahead in the early game. So if they're trying to battle the early game at this point and they end up losing out, Fairytale definitely should walk away with this one. The kinetic is going to be the huge one that we got to look at here on the God EU for that late game carry, and then also Culpio. He's got that Crystal Vox, and we know what a Crystal Vox can do if he's able to get those resonance out safely. And we don't have anybody that really forces Vox out as we did earlier. We have the Celeste, who just had too much range. We don't have that benefit now on the side of Fairytale.
Grab hitting down onto Randolph. He still has his flask though. Gonna try and go for an invade. Mr. Roma, he's going for it, but the NEU and Introvert are around the corner. I'm not too sure if they're gonna be able to secure away this Crystal Trin, as they do have the Malign, and she has one, if not the single best secure potential with that Shadow Tendril early game. She will be able to secure it away, as I did just mention, pretty obvious in my books. But now their jungle of Fairytale has stayed untouched throughout their own invade, so I think they're going to have to focus and rotate around to that. Otherwise, they're going to fall behind in gold quite heavily in the early game, so they've just got to focus that right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Varia is going to be the one to watch on the side of Fairytale right now. That is going to be Randolph playing on that Varia. Huge crystal damage potential if Chrysaor are going to take quite low taking those minions there. But they're going to go ahead and get that gold. Varia can really take off in that mage role in the later stages of the game. And now we've got Mr. Roma coming down, looking on the retreat here.
Able to steal the weapon buff, going over to side of Introvert. 3v2, invade. They will be able to pick up a kill. Introvert with the blood for blood. First blood going over to Jade Lightning. Unfortunately, Malene a little bit overwhelmed in that skirmish. She will be dropping down. Though the grab coming out onto Crizior, bringing him just unfortunately a little bit too close to Introvert, but he will be able to walk his way unharmed out of that one. Vanguard onto Scorpio, able to tank up a little bit more damage, does get the flash too. Re-engage from Introvert with a blood for blood round on top of Crizior. He does get a Sonic Zoom down, but still not enough damage to get rid of Crizior, but they do find Idris anyway, so nicely done. 2-1 so far. A little bit as a repeat of what we had in later on games. 2-1, and also a nice goldie going the way of Jade Lightning. Fairytale has to be a little bit more cautious, as we said earlier. They are playing up against the Malene. The grab hits down onto Randolph. Able to dash out with a nice little bit of a reflex there out of the grasp of this Yates.
Yeah, Yates can set up some pretty nasty plays in the early game, but compared to what a Churnwalker can set up with a huge 5-man torment if it's trespass if it's allowed to get through, can really start to feel a little bit lackluster. Yates very good in the early game though, lots of base damage. You mentioned earlier the hold on here, Christ, you're gonna get pulled out of position here.
Gonna be yanked back. Unfortunately, Malene gonna be a little bit slow on their rotation. They will not be able to find Crizior right there, but still nice move. And we were talking about the early game. They are applying a monstrous amount of pressure at this point. The NDU still has its Shadow Tendril, trying to secure that way. No need for the Shadow Tendril, just this passive will be enough. Randolph, the grab is available, will be able to connect it a little bit too slow on his V, but that doesn't matter as he picks up one easy kill by the end of that fight. But now they're going to go again for Nurse's Jungle rotation to have the timers up available on their minimap, so they know they have the room and they have this Malene. The early game is just such a force to reckon with. And they can just allow themselves, to be completely honest. They can do whatever they want with a Malene pick.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And, you know, that's such a fun combination that we can see set up out of Malene and Yates. You get that Wolf's Maw to pull somebody in. You land a white ribbons on them. They're now locked up underneath your team. The gank potential is there, and then we just got to see them capitalize off the back of any picks that they're able to get. They're playing very aggressive right now, actually.
That's definitely what they must do. Dashing up from the Varia, going to be able to get out of the grab of Ostrama Serio without too much of a problem. 3-on-3 in the fight. Scorpio and Randolph very low around the corner. Not ready to join the fight, I do believe. But Randolph is anyways going to get focused a little bit by Scorpio. Sonic Zoom applied. Just not enough, but unfortunately Yates doesn't have his ultimate at that point. Will not be able to get out of that sticky situation. He will be given in life in response to that. Scorpio, be careful. He's low on energy. Cannot Sonic Zoom anymore. Better be careful, my friend, or you will be taken down. We know the damage early game of a Chumuk is pretty insane. That's going to be missing out the chain. Now going to try and get the damage. Sonic Zoom. Oh, sorry, not Sonic Zoom, but the Shakram will be able to get quite a bit of damage out on Scorpio, but he does have his flash, so he isn't in too much of a dangerous spot right now.
Scorpio was able to hold off the mid lane there. He was able to survive on his way through as well, so we'll have to see if this Vox is going to have the potential that they need it to. Getting into the late stages of the game, War Treads are complete for Introvert now, so they do have that team engage or disengage. Mr.
Roma will be the casualty in that fight. Introvert does use the flask, will be able to normally sip his way out of that one, but they're still harassing. They're looking for more. They're looking for that kill. Man, he's hungry, Randolph, but unfortunately he takes one turret shot and says, I'm not ready for this, and he just backs off for that point. 5 minutes in, 4-2, a goal lead of 1,000 going the way of Jade Lightning. But once again, the NDU and Ostrama, they're not really surprising, going for the same kind of rotation. Trying to dash down the damage, trying to get a kill. They will be able to find one nicely executed. Mr. Roma pretty low, sticking around just way too much, just trying to fight that out, but not going to be working out for him, unfortunately, as he just get his life taken away by Jade Lightning. And once again, the jungle going to be respawning very soon. And Jade Lightning seeming impossible to stop at this point in time, Denominate.
Yeah, Astro Masaru has had some pretty good Wolf's Maws coming in this game. And he's really found himself quite a few interesting picks. I mean, we've seen Jesus on the Idris get picked off at the beginning of that last little tussle, and that was just really well timed coming out of the Yates there, sitting with up 3-1. But now Introvert, he's in a rough spot. Fairytale, they found him.
Yeah, they're going to try and focus it. They do have Ostrama Series, who's going to Vanguard his way out of that one. Still damage output. The Shakram is up too. Going to try and get the grab onto turret, but he's going to grab a minion. Not really what you're looking for, but still, we'll excuse him. He had quite a nice early game earlier. Now, the NEU, Lon Energy will use his flask. He should be able to slip his way out of that one. Maybe even turn it around into a kill. He will get slowed by the Inara. Unfortunately, that will not end up into... Well, maybe. I thought it wouldn't end up into a kill. Will not indeed. The NEU able to get to the safety of his very own turret. 7 minutes in. Gold leader slowly getting in the way of Jade Lightning as Corpio is going to be completely caught out of position. Crucible going to be nicely done. Able to cancel out that trespass. Gauntlet going to be getting 9 stun onto Randolph. Going to try and... Oh, he's going to get pulled right... He's going to get pulled right back into it. The combos between those abilities and the Gauntlet absolutely hoggers. Introvert and Ostromasteri, even though they're not two main carries, they're still looking for this jungle invade, looking for that juicy gold and even potential kills. As Mr. Roma and Crizio are fairly low, but they're not going to be that hungry. They're just going to be backing off for the time being.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been some pretty good plays coming out of Jade Lightning EU. There's a lot of... Oh, Ostromasteri!
Oh, la, la, man. They got the vision in the jungle.
This is why it's so important to shut down a Yates if you can with that Finn. Finn is such a great captain through the late phases of the game. He's incredibly tanky. He can give that AoE fortified health using that polite company. So there's just so much that a Finn offers to the team while also almost completely shutting down a Yates. And I just feel like that was something that we really missed, especially with the performance that Chrysior had on that Finn in game 1. He was landing tons of forced chords, and that's going to be a turret now and a kill for the side of Jade Lightning EU.
You're out of position, and we will take you down. Ostromasteri being absolutely on point with his Yace pickup so far. But in the top lane, we didn't really go on the top lane that much, but the God EU got that first turret, looking for the second one. The wave just going to be a little bit too slim at this point. Still, man, Kinetic Serpent Mask is available. He's going for some energy, probably going to be going for some housing charges. Really nice item to have onto a Kinetic, being able to sustain your damage output with your abilities, just able to also dash out the stun if he does max out his B. Things he hasn't done yet, but definitely going to be the next thing he's going to be trying to pull off. 2 million candies on the Inara. I don't know what they're going to be doing with that for now, because they're a little bit behind in the game. Maybe to just try and relieve lane pressure. But when you're already losing so many turrets, I don't think it's going to be helping you out that much to go for million candies. But turrets are falling down one by one. Fairytale having to go back a little more every single time. And I think they just gave them too much of a lead in the early game, because now this Malign seems pretty much unstoppable, especially with this Yates. The combo is just way too dirty.
Yeah, and with nobody on that front line to block it out, we definitely gonna have to watch out for those kind of pulls. Just such a dominating early game that Maline's able to put out. Randolph might get caught out here.
Oh man, a sandwich time it is, and they're going to be able to find that. The Yates going to be able to CC down Crizio. Whiz away for it, the silence, so he can't use his trespass, and that's going to be a double kill by the Kinetic. Didn't do much until now except getting the top lane turrets, but now she is joining those fight. She is joining the fray and doing that strong. So now she's going to be quite a foe to deal with when you're instead of Fairytale. Fairytale did win game number 1 if you did just arrive. Welcome to the European Champions Cup. This is a 1-0 situation so far for Fairytale. So we're going to have to see if Fairytale is able to make a comeback in this game. Definitely so far it doesn't seem good for those players as the Ghostwing gets secured away by Jade Lightning EU. And they're looking for more. They're looking for the gold. The jungle camps to steal them away. Fairytale looking for that fight in their own jungle, trying to steal it away. Unfortunately, the grab will connect on Nighthawk. Not your main target. Corpio getting harassed quite heavily. Will use the flask. Will get slowed down by Mr. Roma. The Aimballs hammered, raining down on the members of Jade Lightning. Gets a stun now. So with the Gauntlet going to be able to zone them out. And that will be the first casualty in that fight as they do lose Mr. Roma. That's a very long team fight. What the hell's going on? Crizio trespassing his way out of that one. Unfortunately, the NEU around the corner able to secure him down. And Jesus 27. Unfortunately, also out of position. That's going to be 3 kills going the way pretty nicely of Jade Lightning.
Yeah, Kinetic's starting to have like a huge impact on these fights. Just pretty quiet through the early part of the game. You know, it just stayed in the top lane, just got the pushes. There weren't a whole bunch of team fights going on. And was able to take advantage of that top lane. We're sitting 2 turrets up there. It really just shows the split push that Kinetic has been allowed to have. And now she's got herself into a comfortable position in her build. She's got the Serpent's Mask and the breaking point, and she can start to scale up very, very heavily in these fights. Pair it with that weapon buff for a slow... Uh-oh.
1 on 3. Can he turn it around? Can he get a kill? I do not think so. Just going to get the nice little bit of a lockdown from Nighthawk. With that fish food will be enough to get that kill. Mr. Roma, though, like, they're doing one by one. He goes for the solo invade. Now I go for the solo invade. That's going to be 2 members down overall, 1 for each team. Crystal Chin going to be focused down. Can he secure it away? No, will be taken by Nighthawk. Not really the one you want to give the buff over to, but still better than having it on your team than giving it over to the enemies of Jade Lightning. What's wrong with Siri? He's looking hungry. He's looking for the kills. He has Meline around the corner. Maybe he can try and get a nice little bit of a no vision grab on a high priority member of the enemy team. But will not be able to do so, and he's just going to be going back for now.
Yeah, absolutely. Gotta you. He's sitting comfortable on his kinetic, who's been a huge part of this tournament. You know, we've seen Leon earlier today, had a just absolutely devastating performance on the kinetic. Astra Masaru having a great game here on Yates. He's set up some pretty wild plays, paired up with the light ribbons coming out of the NDU, and they've got almost a guaranteed gank every single time. And now we're starting to get to the team phase part of this game, so I'm interested to see how these characters are going to hold out through the later stages. You know, we know Yates, very early game driven, Maylene, very early game driven. We're getting to that phase of the game where they're going to start to slowly fall off a little bit.
Oh, they're going to try and engage hard. Wait for it. Get a nice amount of damage and silence onto the team of Fairytale. Trespass going to be able to stun them out. Crucible just a little bit too late. Oshamasaru going to be ulting, trying to give the Crucible. Will be, unfortunately, just way too late coming up on the side of Cruzior. Now that's going to be a double kill by the Kinetic. Stacking up 17 stacks on that breaking point and more. Looking to try and re-engage under turret. But that will not be able to do it for them. Fairytale, 3 members remaining, trying to stop that lane push. Now Blacklaw is indeed spawned in Nominee, and that's going to be the next focus from the Jade Lightning players.
Yeah, it looks like Jade Lightning are going straight for it too, as we've got this Black Claw started up, already down below half, and there's nobody anywhere to be found in sight for the side of Fairytale. You know, we didn't have that Anvil's Hammer up to try to figure out where the side of Jade Lightning was. Oh no!
Oh, he's going to be out of position, punished for his sins, but still, he's Chelmoka. He's pretty tanky overall. He'll just run his way out of that one. But Blacklaw was secured by Jade Lightning. Mr. Rome did use his ultimate right there, not doing anything with it, unfortunately. Going to be grabbed up, and he might go down. He does get the wall-to-wall ultimate. That's going to be one big ability used up by Fairytale. That's again sieged down by 4 members of Jade Lightning. Anvil's Hammer going to be raining down on their team, trying to push them away, but we're also going to have the split push from the God EU in the top lane. Introvert will rotate around, trying to give as much assistance as he can, but GDS27 ulting his way out of that one. Will he be able to survive? Once another HP, the Crucible been absolutely on point. Nicely done from your boy Crizio. As one armory drops down, so does the Blacklaw. Trying to look for another one, but now this is a fight potential. Mr. Roma getting absolutely obliterated by the God EU, stacking up on his breaking point. 15 stacks in just a matter of seconds. Now they're going to try and get the finishing blow. Chris Yor is going to be the next focus down by the God EU, doing absolute plays with this kinetic. Is this the end of the game? I do indeed think so, as Randolph is going to be giving the triple kill over to this kinetic. And this might be it. I'm not too sure. There's still an opportunity. They're only going to get a 2-man stun. And Kinetic going to be able to end the game for Jade Lightning. Game number 1 going over to Fairytale. Game number 2 to Jade Lightning. This, my friends, will be the third game we had in the European Champions Cup, coming up very, very soon.
Yeah, 2 even teams here, man. The first game 3 of the series is big for these guys. In the end, someone's got to come out here on top. So that's why we've got this game 3, you know, as that backup plan. So I'd like to see both of these teams focus a little bit more on those mages, the Scarf and the Celeste. They just dominate in the meta right now, and I really think it would change up a lot of the pace for game 3 if we get the draft a little bit more late game oriented.
Yeah, definitely something they're going to try and focus down. Checking out the builds real quick. So we did have a usual Vox build there with the Eve alternating current kind of build up. Jesus didn't have the time, unfortunately, to unlock his passive, and that was very unfortunate for him. He only had a Barb Needle, and also with the Weapon Blade wasn't able to get the Serpent Mask, so that was unfortunately a little bit of a waste of itemization, because until you get the actual item itself, and with a Weapon Infusion and you don't get your passive, your weapon items are basically almost useless. So that's going to be working out to the advantage here of Jade Lightning. Still, nice game as Jade Lightning claim game number 2. Pretty even game so far. Really intrigued to see how this next upcoming game will be following up for the side of Jade, Lightning, and Fairytale. Just going to be swapping around the players, and we'll be seeing. But, like, how do you think both of these players are going to be feeling right now? What do you think might come out into the draft? Because, like, the early game was just huge for Jade Lightning.
The early game was huge for Jade Lightning this time around. Again, I think both of these teams need to start adapting into what, you know, the meta that's proven itself to work. Is these backline mages, the Celeste and the Scarf. They constantly are pulling out wins, you know, except when they're against each other, obviously. But, you know, Kinetic, also another one that had some huge performance. The God EU, again, very quiet for the early stage of that game. Just kind of minded his own business in the top lane, built up, and then, you know, really got uncontrollable once he got that Surface Mask and the breaking point out and started joining in on those team fights. He ended that last game 8-0-2 on Kinetic.
Yeah, just an absolute beast on that pickup. He showed us what he could do earlier with Silver now on Kinetic. Just once again, two of the best bot lane carry heroes. So not really surprising what he can do. If you just know how to play the heroes, you can hard carry those games. We're just putting ourselves into the draft right now, guys. Tell us in chat, who do you think is going to be winning this game? Jade, Lightning, EU, or will it be Fairytale in one epic? And the third game of this EU Champions Cup. Let's jump right into the last draft of today.
Yeah, Max. Well, we got a Churnwalker off here early, and Churnwalker's been a huge contested pick for a majority of the tournament. That, you know, big 5-man stun potential that he pulls together in the later stages of the game can really turn a team fight very quickly if it doesn't get crucibled out. But a Vox is going to get taken off the board now by the side of Fairytale, and that's not one that we usually see really get to be a ban-worthy hero.
Yeah, right now they did go for the Churnwalker and the CP Vox. CP Vox being such a good hero that they had last game. Even though Kinetic was doing a big part of the work, so was that Vox. So they did ban it away. Now, ooh, that's not Fairytale this way. There's going to be, by the way, a Jade Lightning banning away this Yates. They know the power and the potential of that hero, so just not ready to deal with it if it's played by the side of Fairytale. So just ban it away, and like that, no more problem. Anchor, going to be the second ban of Fairytale as they do go for the first pick of Lorelei. Arden and Finn still open for pickups, but Finn has a hard time dealing with Lorelei overall, so I'm not too sure if they're going to be ready to commit and go to the next step and pick up Finn here, Denomine.
Yeah, I think a Lorelei Finn could actually work really well. Lorelei, she's got an actual fair bit of just natural damage in the early game, both on her basic attacks as well as her abilities. So I think Lorelei could help kind of push the envelope a little bit early, and they could set up something like a Scarf or a Celeste to have on the backline with this Finn. And you know, again, I'm a real big fan of the Celeste Scarf meta right now, but I don't feel like either one of these teams is really comfortable on that. You know, it seems like their carries have maybe a little bit limited of a hero pool, I want to say, but it is a strong limit, right? Like the Kinetic from last game, huge performance.
Yeah, but they did go for the Silvernail this time around, so I think that's definitely going to be played by the God EU once again. Wouldn't be really surprising. Yes, they do swap it around. The God EU on that Silvernail pickup, able to also get the Ghosting Steel in that first game, so would be nice to see that happen again. Finn still available and on the board for pickup. I've seen the soft lock coming out from Mr. Roma for the Fairytale team. Wouldn't be really surprised if they do go for that, but I think going for heroes that could follow up on the engages of your res is more interesting, especially, for example, heroes with CC. I was going to, like, give an example here that's Lance. Pretty nice pickup overall. Finn still on the board, but I don't think here going for Finn would be really interesting unless you put jungle Lance, top lane Arden, then Finn in the roam position. But I think that might be a little bit overkill for your frontline and engage potential. Now you need damage. You already have the Reza. Now you need carries. Kinetic still on board. Vox, unfortunately, was banned away, but still have a lot of opportunities. Scarf and Celeste, as you talked earlier, are still on the board. But still, they're going to be going for the Kinetic, and they're going to deny that pick away. Even though they did have a Silvernail, I don't think Jade Lightning were going to go for that pickup. They do anyways take it away. One easy, like, pretty nice matchup in terms of weapon carries throughout the game. And looks like they want to try and go for Meline. They will repeat it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And they go for the Meline in this third and last game.
Yeah, Meline actually can have a an excellent job taking down a Reza in the early stage of the game. Reza really abuses his mobility to get around in the fights and keep himself both safe as well as in the potential to pull off that assassin style attack, following up on the Troublemaker, Firestarter proc, Aftershock proc. So we're gonna have to see if Mr. Roma can get safely onto that back line. If the Bright Bulwark and the Holy Nova and the Light Ribbons, they might end up being too much for the Reza to deal with, though.
Yeah, they might be a little bit too much. That's why he has to get the nice block and the Crucibles on his team absolutely on point. But they do go for the Celeste. We were saying how good of a pick there is. They needed that mid laner. That's going to be giving them a lot of room to work with, and especially when you're against a Maline, against a Silnel, a Grace, a Lyra, a Lorelei, all together. Celeste can keep them at bay for quite a long period of time, unless they go for the fully pledged Arcane Passage from the Lyra Engage. With the type of comp that they have, though, I'm not sure that's actually what we're going to be seeing. If they do go for the Arcane Passage Engage, that would feel kind of like counterproductive with the sort of draft that they have on their team. But anyways, guys, we are right now going into game number 3 of this epic team one-on-one game. That came out weird. I don't know what I was trying to hype it up and say like something cool, but it came out completely wrong. Anyways, indeed, game number 3 is a 1-for-1 situation so far. Jade Lightning EU versus the team of Fairytale. The winner of this game wins it all and will be the team to go further in this European Champions Cup tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Reza did make it on the board. Huge pickup for them. Silvernail, we've seen do some crazy things throughout this tournament. And then obviously Lyra, just the sustain that you have in the mid lane can really help your team get an edge early. But we do have that Celeste pickup on the side of Fairytale. Why do I always Fairytale. They're the only one I struggle with. But anyway, they have gone with the Celeste, and I think this is really smart. I do think they're going to struggle with Reza, though, in the middle phase of this game. I don't think Reza is going to have quite the impact they're hoping for. There's just so much disengaged potential that's on the side of Jade Lightning EU. Minion Candy Pop, though, in the mid lane.
They have a lot of peeling potential indeed, Denominator, as you did just mention. Randolph getting poked quite heavily, though, by Ostramaseru. Lyra in the mid lane is a hero that can trade out quite effectively, so that's nicely done. You're going to try and go for 2-man Jungle Invade, Chrysior, and Randolph. Also Nighthawk, as he does rotate from the top lane, going to be trying to help out on that. Introvert, he does have the Benediction. Can he get still? No, unfortunately, that will not be the case. So he will be just running his way out of that one. But though they also have an invade going out for themselves, coming out from the NEU and Corpio. So that's going to be like nothing lost, nothing won for both teams whatsoever.
Yeah, it does look like we have some crystal damage being built here on on Lorelei. So we're going to have to see if they decide to go fully down that crystal path, or if it's going to be a little bit like of a hybrid damage dealing support for Corpio. He's coming into the mid lane. Huge damage spike there with the Lyra. Both of those attacks will follow you for your whole existence.
Yeah, basically, that's what we really like with that Celeste. Also, the damage coming out from her basic attacks I think people ignore it quite a bit, but man, the CP ratio is quite insane. Because you're forced to use his flask right there. I think he could have survived without using it, but just in case, you are never too sure. Now look at that, Randolph. Because you're so low in that mid lane. Randolph still having his flask if needed. He will be using it, gets the Vanguard to you just in case. Nighthawk, he knows then trouble will be rotating around, but unfortunately it is too late. The fight is already over. Not going to be able to do much. We do have already an almost 1k gold lead in around 2 minutes going the way of Jade Lightning's lead. Didn't see it happen that early on in the 2 first games, Denominate, so maybe a little bit of a different playstyle coming out from the side of Jade Lightning.
Yeah, no, these teams have been very even, and that is obviously one of the reasons that we are in our first game 3 of the tournament. This is anybody's game at this point. Corpio, while the Lorelei's basic attack damage is pretty substantial right now, and we've seen Corpio come into that mid lane, able to poke out Celeste with the quick movement at the splashdown. Later as the game goes on, I think the damage trade is really going to start to go in favor of Randolph here on the Celeste. Again, at level 8, you get that Heliogenesis overdrive, and it gives you that additional range. It just sets up so much potential. You can zone the enemy any which way you want, and then you also have that stun coming from the core collapse to match the Lorelei's fish food. So really, Randolph, I think, has the edge here as we get later and later in this game.
The block coming out from Ostramaseru a little bit too late, unfortunately. Crystal Trin going to be stolen away normally without too much of a hassle. They're going to be able to take it. Ostramaseru a little bit too late on that rotation. But man, you're looking at the side of Fairytale. They're getting the enemy's jungle. They're getting their own jungle. Fortunately, a little bit too slow of a rotation coming out from the players on Jade Lightning's team. Still, they had a little bit of a lead, so they can deal with it at least for now. It's just a way for Fairytale to pan off this this goal lead without too much of a problem. So, talking about like the heroes in general on both teams, I'm checking out Colpio on this Lorelei, and it is indeed a mid-lane CP made Lorelei. Looks like she's going for an alternative current first item, maybe a Dragon's Eye. Something you don't see all that often, but a hero that, if it's played properly, it can be pretty impactful. And I do actually like that pickup because when you're looking at the enemy team of Fairytale, they have this Celeste, they have this Rether, they have this Kinetic and the Arden. Heroes, it's sure they do have some mobility, but they do not have the cooldown reduction on that mobility compared to the enemy team. On those abilities coming out from the Lorelei. Jesus 27 is going to get focused down, taking quite a lot of damage. One more basic stack, and is the first blood. Finally going over the way of Jade Lightning. Krizior rotates his way around. Maybe not the best thing to do. The Impale missing out for Nighthawk. Followed up with a Githemwall Introvert. Will be backing his way out of that one. And still, I do really like then the CP Lorelei here. Makes a lot of sense in my books.
Yeah, Mr. Roma able to hold on to that second turret in his lane. He did get a pretty substantial push against him, losing out on that first turret. Maylene and in the God EU on the Silvernail were just constantly abusing the fact that Mr. Roma doesn't have his ability to use the mobility for his offense and his defense. You're up against the Silvernail, he can drop those stakes and limit your movement. Obviously the Maylene, light ribbons, that full-on route, and it just was not a good time there for Mr. Roma. First kill did go on the board for Introvert as they picked up a kill onto Jesus, who isn't quite at that that crazy late game stage yet. Obviously here about 5 minutes in. We've got the Ghostwing coming on the map here shortly, and it's going to be interesting to see which team ends up feeling comfortable enough to go for that first.
6 minutes in almost, and a goalie that's really slowly climbing the way of Jade Lightning. They did miss that first the rotation we did have, but like they still got the leading goal, which is actually pretty surprising. I didn't expect that to happen. Just seems like their CSing is just completely out of this world, but nice. Tripwire gonna slow and a silence onto Mr. Roma, cannot re-engage whatsoever. Ostramaserio will be rotating his way around to give assistance as Aftershock gets finally purchased by the NEU on this Malign Githemwall, going to be rendered useless by the NEU as he does dive into the darkness, able to slip his way out of that one. Mr. Roma might want to be a little bit cautious there, does use... Oh man, that tripwire was close, did hit a little bit, but unfortunately not long enough, but that would have been almost a sure kill there onto the Reza, but we'll be able to make it out for this time around.
Yeah, just going to make it out barely there. And I think one of the reasons that we don't see a gold lead on the side of Fairytale right now is this Reza just hasn't had a lot of freedom up against the side of Jade Lightning EU. Oh, here we go, huge root!
Oh, Mr. Roma with the flask. You can see the synergy between these two players, the NEU and the God EU. Pretty high skilled players. As you see the Kinetic pick up the Grace in the top lane, able to bring it back to a one-on-one lead. Oh man, really nice tripwire, forcing out another flask out by Nighthawk. And they're just keeping them at bay. Even though like Silvernail and Malign mid-game aren't the best siege kind of type, they're just keeping Reza and Lance completely out of position and under their very own turret. They're even looking for the turret right now, I think. They're waiting for the wave. They're taking their time, but can they find it? I do think so. As do you see the Celeste pick up the Lorelei in the mid lane, and also the Arden picking up the Lyra. That's going to be very unfortunate. I'm just keeping my eyes on the bot lane. I always think there's going to be a kill coming out, but most of the kills were happening in the mid lane, picking up easily Colpio and Ostramaserio. 2 extra kills going the way of Fairytale.
Yeah, huge plays for the side of Jade Lightning EU there. They were able to get the kills, both Celeste and Kinetic picking up a kill, as well as getting that bottom turret, thanks to that siege coming from Lorelei and Silvernail, who again, just haven't had any struggle with the Reza because both of them can limit his mobility, and it hasn't given Mr. Roma the opportunity to get early picks or to get jungle invades to start building that lead. You know, he hasn't got himself the gold to complete an Aftershock now at the 8-minute mark, and that's not a comfortable spot for Rez to be in at this point.
Yeah, it feels bad, man. He's only 100 to 200 gold away from the Aftershock, so he will be able to get it shortly, but still, when you look, the NEU already has the Aftershock, alternative current already purchased on Colpio. That's a huge power spike that you still don't have available at the 8-minute mark, so he has to try and get back into the game, get that aftershock, and then he will unlock his first power spike. We'll be able to try and pick a bunch of fights for himself, as Jesus going to be the next focus. Slowed down by the splashdown. Arcane passage in for Master. Can they follow up with any kind of CC with a fish food? No, he's able to dash his way out of that one as Introvert uses the wall treads, but unfortunately a little bit of miscommunication right there. So that's going to be a one wasted pair of boots. Though we might have a fight coming up into the bot lane, Denominate.
Yeah, it's been a lot of Mr. Roma on the run. The God EU and the End EU constantly abusing this Reza here in the bot lane. That Maylene Silvernail combo is so deadly into somebody who relies exclusively on his movement to be able to safely output damage. The God EU now working on the choke point turret, and mid lane getting pushed up as well.
Damn it, she just pops out of the darkness and takes that Solar Storm to the face, very unfortunately. The turret, though, is dropping pretty low. Can they find it? I think they're trying to focus it as much as they possibly can, but it gets the bar in time. The other wave is right behind the corner. Randolph and Nighthawk, can they keep it alive? That is unfortunately a no, and that's going to give them the potential to re-engage. Core Collapse misses out the target. Randolph gets rooted up by the light ribbon, but that will just not be enough to get a kill whatsoever. Almost 10 minutes in, but the Ghostwing is up and available, and seems like that's going to be the next focus of Jade Lightning.
Yeah, we've got a couple kills up on the board on the side of Fairytale in their 3-1 lead, but they're down 3,000 gold right now, and they're not even contesting this the Ghostwing pickup here, and that's going to go easily over to the side of Jade Lightning EU. Lyra trying to get over there to get the steal onto the Crystal Tree and unable to make it in time. The End EU and the God EU making their rotation through the jungle now. They've been kind of the dynamic duo of this team here in Game 3. Again, their shutdown on the Reza and Lance, just because you take away the mobility of both of those heroes, has been absolutely detrimental and influenced all of the fights so far involving the Silvernail and the Mailing King.
So I'm looking at the board right now. We only have 4 kills for both teams. Pretty slow game overall, which is kind of surprising, knowing that they did have a Maline. I didn't think they didn't use the full potential of that hero. They were able to do it in game number 2, but this time around, unfortunately, I think it's especially Fairytale just knowing how to play around that kind of pickup and how it was played, especially by Jade Lightning. So they're playing a little bit more cautious, which I do understand. But now we do have a 4K goalie going the way of Jade Lightning. I always want to say Divine Vendetta because they do have a bunch of them have the DVI tag. But they are trying to climb up this lead just a little bit. Mr. Roma, though, he's trying to flank a little bit on Colpio and Ostromasteri, trying to catch them off guard. Will not be able to do so, but it will be the NDU able to pull the trigger right on top of the Lance and put him down to 1/3 HP left. So he's going to be forced to backport the turret. On the second, to turret, sorry, I mean to the base. The turret is open in the mid lane, trying to go for the second. Core Collapse does connect, going to be able to dash out a little bit of damage on Introvert, just a bit of chip damage. Colpio going to be forced out and ranged away by Randolph on the Celeste. Celeste that does have the Eve of Harvest and Spellfire, so that's going to be giving them a lot more sustain and a lot more potential to combo up those abilities. But the engagement with the Gauntlet going to be able to lock down this Silvernail. Nice re-engage from Fairytale. The Solar Storm rains on through, doesn't connect whatsoever. The NEU, can he survive it? Yes, with the Arcane Passage engaged. Nicely done, Mr. Roma. That was a huge play. That Arcane Passage was poggers. Chris Yor, he's going to be trying to rotate his way around, trying to get the Vanguard. Impale going to be not connecting for Fairytale, trying to chase it out. He never, just in case, just trying to peel his way out of that one. Only finding 1 kill after such a nice engage from Fairytale feels bad, man.
Yeah, absolutely. They were in the better part of that 5v3 a minute ago after they were able to get a huge pick onto the God EU, shut down that Silvernail. But, you know, the side of Fairytale, they're finding the kills here and there, but again, they don't have the positional advantage right now to actually get anything off the back of it, which is a little bit of a struggle for this Celeste to get online. They've been unable to get any, or unable to maintain the turret advantage, and Celeste is really struggling to get these items complete. We do have the Alternating Current and the Dragon's Eye finished for Colpio on the Lorelei. And then the Spellfire and the Eve of Harvest second for Randolph as God EU picks up a kill onto Mr. Roma down there in the bot lane.
Yeah, Mr. Roma unfortunately going to be into a 1v2 skirmish. Wasn't able to make his way out of that one. We do see a top lane push though from Colpio and Introvert trying to get that lane. But unfortunately they're not going to be committing whatsoever. I think they could have gone for that, but also the Lance was around the corner. So they're just going to be making their way slowly out of that top lane. Trying to just mid-turn. I think that should be the next focus on Fairytale, trying to get this mid lane turret because they're always the one getting invaded into their own turf. They must try and turn that around, I think, as soon as possible. As Ghostwing gets taken away by the Silvernail, by the God EU. Engaged on Jesus. He's a little bit lonely there. Not going to be connecting whatsoever. Dashing his way out of that one. Krizior, though, he doesn't have the Gauntlet. It's on a 4-second cooldown. He will be able to use it very soon. Though Malin just running after Randall, trying to pick up the kill. Uses the flask. We'll be able to keep him alive for a little bit longer and get himself out of range. But Blacklaw still there. And I think if you're on the side of Jade Lightning, you want to try and force that Blacklaw and maybe try and force a team fight if you can. As Jesus is around the corner. I think they might try and debate and pull off a C9 right now, Denominate.
Yeah, it looks to be the case. Huge damage coming out of Maylene, almost taking Jesus down. And now Kinetic's in a real on goal. Just the heals missed there of Jesus, so that fish fruit.
Yeah, Celeste can zone him out with those Heliogenesis, and she's got a pretty nice steal potential. But still, they are going strong, and they're not ready to back down. Jade Lightning, they get the heal a little bit, but they do have the mortal wound applied by the Blacklaw. The NEU a little bit too deep there. It will be secured by, anyways, Jade Lightning. Now they're looking for the engage. Arcane Passage in. Ostromaceri pretty low. Might want to be a little bit cautious. The Gauntlet going to be connecting now. Trying to keep them in the Bay Area. But now, Krizior, he's still around this team trying to get the Vanguard up. But unfortunately, doesn't have it. That will be the res of the first casualty of that fight. Doubleman Githam will introvert, not moving, a little bit of a repeat of what we had in game number 2, but he's just unfortunately not here right now. But you are responsible for your connection. But a nice fight overall, going away of Jade Lightning as they're going to try and claim a little bit more with this Blacklaw secured.
Yeah, they're looking to do so. They've got this Blacklaw marching down. They should easily get this choke point turret, which is a big one for them to get rid of. The NDU has had a crazy performance on the Maylene. In fact, using the Wicked Escapade there to avoid some damage coming from the turret. They're going to get that armory as well. So now, even if they don't close out this game, which it doesn't look like they're going to be comfortable to do so, that's a mid-wave that is going to be constantly buffed and pushing up. Oh!
Solar Storm ripping on through, trying to pick up one, trying to pick up two, but that Rebuke was so well executed. Going to be a little, winning a little bit more room for the side of Jade Lightning. And Lorelei being strong, she has the 15 Dragon's Eye stack, trying to pick up Jesus 27, almost was able to pull it off, but that was not the case. They will be able to anyways take down his Blacklaw. They were able to get a very nice push down. Seeing how low their health bars were, they actually put it off pretty nicely overall.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, but that's now an exposed Vein Crystal on the side of Fairytale. Not quite finding the fights in their favor. They're sitting down about 5,500 gold right now, so we can definitely see a lot of that gold is going into the side, into the pockets, I mean, of this Lorelei, sitting at 143 CS, up above the 116 of Randolph on the side of Fairytale. This Lorelei is actually putting out a substantial amount of damage, enough to compete with Celeste at this point and not lose too much off of that range disadvantage.
I gotta praise the fair play coming out from the side of Fairytale, not taking down Introvert. At least I don't hope they are, but it is their choice to do that if they do want to or not. But they won't let, anyways, Introvert survive that. So I do really appreciate that. Gotta praise them for that fair play attitude. 17 minutes in, they could try and they're gonna heal up Introvert anyway. Just in case, you know, he's a free scout cam basically. Also, it gives him a little bit of vision. Oh. Come over here, Introvert. Just get yourself in a little bit of a better spot. And also, like, as I said, a little bit of a scout cam Introvert, basically. So just going to be able to keep a vision for his team.
Yeah, absolutely. They're trying to keep him in a pretty decent spot. So if he reconnects, he's not just deep in the enemy jungle, but it is going to be a little bit of a downfall here for the side of Jade Lightning. Gauntlet's out.
Yeah, Gauntlet going to be able to shut down the Gordy and Astromasaru as they're going to be caught off position. Ghostwing was secured anyway for the side of Fairytale. Mr. Roma going to be using his Nether Form Detonator to disengage that. A nice Arcane Passage back in. 3-man Impale coming out from the last one. That was a double man get them wall. Going to be a lot of CC dashed out, but Mr. Roma is going to be diving deep. Way too deep, that's what she said. And he's not going to be able to make his way out of that one. Gee, sorry. I got a little bit too far for that one, my bad.
In the NDU, trying to chase a kill down onto Jesus, unable to connect, as we do have the stuns now available. Yes, Introverts is back, and you know, Kinetic is at a scary part of her build at this point. Serpent's Mask complete, Breaking Point, Bone Saw. That is what we typically see coming out of both Kinetics and Silvernail. Got you not quite as far in his damage path, as we see the only the Serpent's Mask and the Breaking Point are complete, but he does have that Husk available, which is a huge way for him to avoid burst damage coming out of Mr. Roma, as well as Celeste.
Yeah, that's going to be helping him out a lot. We do see, though, a top lane push by those minions, unfortunately, a little bit past under the radar. So Fairytale will be having to give away one turret. Not that much still. They did pick out the enemy turret quite fast in that position, so not too much of a hassle. Randolph securing that CP buff for himself. Nicely executed. Colpio does have his own CP buff too. But Colpio, he went for the Eve of Harvest Lorelei, and that, though, is something that I have actually never seen. I'm quite intrigued to see how that's going to be working out as he does get his third CP item.
Oh.
Careful with the NDU.
Huge escape there. That was perfectly executed.
Fairytale going to be doing a almost full team backport. Going to be having only the Celeste backport in there, but Blacklaw is available. And I think they're going to do a repeat Jade Lightning. They should try and force out a team fight with this. They have the lead in terms of gold, so they have the opportunity to have the upper hand in these team fights. The NDU, be careful. He can be very slippery, but I think he's just got to be very cautious. Celeste going to be coming back once again. She does have a lot of engage potential, and they're putting off a Cloud9, trying to engage it, but the Gauntlet will be having a reason of their souls. Jesus does get the block out just in time. So trying to close the gap, but Million picks up the Rezo. They're once again going a little bit too fast. Celestorm! Oh my god, the damage of the Celeste. Absolutely huge plays. Core collapse onto the Grace. He's going to be completely out of position. Going to be getting to the close tendency of her team. Jesus with the Benediction going to be slowed down. Now Grace going to be getting it. 3 stacks over to Jesus 27. Thank you very much. Now Jesus 1-on-1, even 2-on-1 up against this Silvernail. Silvernail just stacking up like crazy. Picking up 1, picking up 2, and that's going to be a quick ace. Well, not quick. That was a very long fight, but still an ace.
That's a long ace.
That's a long fight. Going to ace over to the side of Jade Lightning.
Ace over to the side of Jade Lightning. They've got this armory already at half health here. They've got the minions that are here. Huge wave. They've got time on the death timers, except for Mr. Roma.
1v5? Oh, 1v3. Come on.
Yeah, 1v3.
1v3. Let's do it. Let's get it. Colpio, he's the main focus on Mr. Roma. Mr. Roma focusing the minions. Not the time for farming, my friend. Not the time to farm, my friend. Let's go. He's trying to engage. He's trying to get the damage output. But unfortunately, Colpio going to be sustained up by the Lyra. Nighthawk is there. Now it's 2v3. But can they pull it off? No, they can't. And this will be the third game going the way of Jade Lightning EU in a really nice endgame move.
Yeah, excellent call from there off the back of that team fight. They were able to pick up the ace. They knew they had the mid lane pushed close enough that they'd have the damage to close it out. It was quite close there in the end, but with a couple seconds to spare, Jade Lightning are going to close that one out. First game 3, and you know, that was pretty exciting. I love throughout that game there was a lot of back and forth backs, a lot of teams capitalizing on missed positions, and yeah, it's really fun to watch here that Europe finally has some aggressive teams. You know, in the past in Vainglory 3v3, we always
Trash
see Europe play. We've done a lot of that, but it's really fun to see a lot of European teams really starting to get aggressive here in 5v5, as opposed to back where they predominantly had very passive games when it was Vainglory 3v3.
Yeah, definitely. I really do enjoy how EU is playing up. And it's just also, right now, we did have the kind of dead season of Vainglory esports. So I do like seeing a bunch of talents coming up, especially I'm thinking of people such as, for example, Joyskax. Just once again, as I was saying, he's only had 1 entire season in Vainglory 5v5, and he's already on the top of the leaderboard. So we know that 2019 is going to be a brand new year for Vainglory in general, and also in terms of esports, we're going to be having a lot of events coming up. Can't really say what is in preparation right now, but still a lot of stuff is unfolding. So just need to get the talents for the European scene up right now, and definitely there are a bunch of names that we see that can turn around fights on their very own. So I've got to praise them for that. Anyways, in this last BO3, it will be victory, final victory going the way of Jade Lightning EU. So there will be the winner of this great Group A. Sorry, I can't talk anymore, man. It's just too long of a stream. Yeah, so GG. So guys, if you did just join us, welcome to the EU Champions Cup. We're just about to end, but anyways, before we do so, I'm just going to be doing a quick recap of what we had unfold for you guys today. So we had 2 sets of BO3s. We had game number 1 that was at 6 PM CET There was Oogie Boogie versus Potato Pedal. Oogie Boogie able to secure it 2-0 quite cleanly and easily, not going to lie. So that means that Oogie Boogie will be playing next weekend up against the second team in the Group B. And then Potato Pedal will be playing up against the first team of the B division. And then the match we did just have unfold now. There was Jade Lightning EU versus Fairytale. Jade Lightning able to take a 2-1 game. There was easily one of the closest series I ever casted during this actual season. But anyways, we're going to have to cut off the stream. Thank you so much, everyone, for sticking around with us. Really a huge pleasure to be able to bring you guys the European Vainglory action that you guys deserve at home. Thank you for MGL for helping us organize this. Once again, if you want to help us support, if you want to support us, to do these kind of tournaments, we want to also increase the cash prize for the players, for the winners of the EU Champions Cup. You can right now type in chat !donate and it will redirect you to a site where you can assist us and help us to keep these streams ongoing with these kind of tournaments. Anyways, before we do wrap it up, do you have anything to add, Denominate? And if not, we'll be wrapping it up.
No, there's a lot of exciting games today. Team Oogie Boogie, they continue to excel throughout this tournament, and I'm looking forward to see what they can do moving forward and just how far that they can take it. I believe they're undefeated right now.
Yeah.
Haven't dropped a game because there's been no game freeze.
So was Potato Pedal, but now Potato Pedal, they suffered their first loss.
Correct. So Oogie Boogie doing great. Potato Pedal, another team that really took Oogie Boogie in their games to the very end of things and looked very even throughout a majority of the games. So I do want to see also what they're able to pull off the rest of the tournament and see where they can go, because they were really a standout team to me so far.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see what they're going to be able to pull off in the future. Anyways, just so we let you guys go to your occupations, we're going to be I'm just going to be saying what we're having next week. So Saturday, December the 8th, 2018, we'll be having once again 2 sets of BO3s on this channel, the MGL_esports channel. Same place, same time. And it will be Divine Vendetta up against Team Invicta for game number 1. And then the second game will be Team NGR up against Sly. And Sly, that so far is undefeated, if I'm not mistaken. So once again, going to be very interesting to see how both of these matches will be unfolding. Anyways, once again, thank you so much, you guys, for sticking around for a little bit with us today on this Sunday. Hope you had a really nice weekend. I was your host, Maximan, joined once again by Denominate. Stay awesome, and we'll be seeing all of you guys next time on The Rise.
Do you still have those nightmares, baby? Where you see me, you still tell yourself you hate me. Unbelieve it lately. I know I'm still a villain, you told me. You look me in the eyes like you don't even know me. Didn't kill you, didn't kill you. But I was there too, I was there too. You look me in the eyes like you don't even know me. 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 Maybe I can't learn my lesson. The same intentions, I can't find that same connection.